I see one. I know a broke nigga when I see one. I will never ever be one. These niggas broke, mad, broke, mad, cause they broke, mad, broke, mad, cause they broke, mad, cause they broke, mad. These niggas broke. These niggas broke, blessing other niggas money. We did that shit when we were kids. Now we grown and they still broke. And they still broke. Ah, bitch, you'll die. You play with me and God knows that. Ah.
Hey, that's another message from Lil Woody. My intro did not play. I had recorded an intro song for y'all, and it didn't play. Let me try it again.
Welcome on into Vicky's room. I'll be with you soon. We will get to the laughs and deep conversations. Please keep it cute in the comment moderation. Please like and subscribe during the live. I'm a woman of deep thoughts and feelings and never tear anyone down. To build myself up, we're just here, have a laugh and cut up. Welcome on into Vicky's room. I'll be with you soon. We will get to the laughs and deep conversations. Please keep it cute in the comment moderation. Please like and subscribe during the live. I'm a woman of deep thoughts and feelings and never tear anyone down. To build myself up, we're just here, have a laugh and cut up. Welcome on into Vicky's room. I'll be with you soon. We'll get to the laughs and deep conversations. Please keep it cute in the comment moderation. Please like and subscribe during the live. I'm a woman of deep thoughts and feelings and never tear anyone down. To build myself up, we're just here, have a laugh and cut up.
Yay! It finally played, y'all. What y'all think? Think I should keep it or try something else?
I like it.
You like it?
Mhm.
Now I just got to figure out how to do it into an MP. I am still learning. Listen, I used to be so great with
You need to make it do what
technology.
now?
Make it into an MP4 so it doesn't pop up like a like a screenshot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's I'm just cause when yours plays and Lady T Bugs plays, it's background, like it's in the background. I don't want that screen thing to come up. So I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I used to be good
Well,
with
we don't see your
technology.
screen thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you see on the okay? I'm so
Thumbnail. We
stupid.
just see your thumbnail.
All right. Let me actually go to hang on. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hello, everybody. This is I Said What I Said. Welcome to the show, the collaboration of Victor DeVale and I Said What I Said. Um, we're gonna I have host on my screen, but I'm actually the co-host. And this is Vicky's house, and so she will
Yes.
be the host tonight.
Well, she is the co-collaborator. She is the co-host. She did make us a nice kind of introductory video into this federal indictment that has been rocking the West Coast and West Coast entertainment for like the past couple of weeks. So I believe Ebony is from the West Coast. I live on the West Coast. I live in Nevada though, but there are a few people, listeners on here who live on the West Coast and kind of are familiar with a lot of the names that you see on the screen. This was called Operation Drawdown. And the man in the center of this is Big U, Eugene Henley. He is a CEO of a record label, but there's more to the stuff that he's been doing. He has been accused. Hey, let me say hi to everybody. I'm sorry. Where's my manners? My manners have gone out the window. My apologies, y'all. Hello, Shelly C. Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame. Thank you for being here. I said what I said. Thank you for being here and co-hosting with me and also being a moderator as well. Um, allegedly in Harmon, thank you for modding and being here. Real Cross Country Cruiser, Ebony, West Coast Sister. Um, that's just me. Okay. Southside, Chi-Town 73. Hello. Who else? A lady 747. How you doing? Okay. My manners. Sorry about that, y'all. So I said what I said has kind of she has been kind enough to create an introductory video to the indictment. And I don't know if you got like really got a chance to dig deep into the indictment. I said what I said, but there's some stuff in there. He's been accused of extortion, prostitution. What else? I think a little bit of trafficking is in there, right? You on mute, girl?
I am because
Oh,
I'm traveling around the house.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll keep talking.
Trying to
I'm
get some
so
glasses. That's okay. But
no,
I
no,
left
no.
my
You fine.
glasses in the bedroom.
So
But yeah,
while you traveling around,
PPP fraud.
yeah,
Um,
PPP loan stuff.
uh, just a bunch of
Uh, hey, chocolate
just
drop.
your normal everyday black people crime that do criminal
I'm
shit.
well. Here's the thing: them other folks do it too, and they
Right.
do it too, but they just don't do it. Oh yeah, Ebony. I forgot about that. The unaliving of a young rapper. Um, and the word I think said this on your on your channel, about a week ago. Now the unaliving of a young rapper, yes, young man. Hey, Tanya B. Um, there's some speculation behind that because and also this man that we're discussing, the center of this investigation, Eugene Henley Jr., aka Big U, he's also accused in the streets. Now, in the streets, he's accused in the streets of being behind the the taking of Nipsey Hussle's life. So it's a lot. And the two people that to the left of Big U in this picture and this mugshot lineup, Loose Cannon and Brick Baby. Brick Baby, if you are a hip hop follower, he is a main presenter on No Jumper podcast. And I just found out through my job, like one of my good closer coworkers, she's related to him by marriage, and she's like, I'm just glad I got my husband away from him. Hey, Baba lady, she's like, because she said my husband probably would have been, involved in the same thing. Brick Baby, Zahir Mitchell, he himself is on video. I'm not gonna pull no jumper stuff up because the people over there, they like to copyright claim. Um, Brick Baby is on cameras basically telling people, I got more bodies than you got squabbles. Now, does everybody understand what that means in hood terms? You understand what that means, right? I said what I said.
I understand what it means.
So for those who are unintegrated, let's put it that way, and some of the hood language, that means I've unalived more people than you've fought. And that he was telling that to this other young man, Termaine Williams, aka Loose Cannon. So these people got themselves caught, but it's a lot of stuff going on. Got some Asians up in here, got some Latinos up in here. I mean, it's yes, having more bodies, exactly. Bobby. So I'm gonna play. I said what I said video, like this is kind of an introductory video. And then, I'd like to go through, I'm not going to go through the whole indictment, but I'd like to go through some parts that I found most specifically interesting, like how some of this stuff works. So hang on one second. Let me present. Hang on. You can see my screen, right?
Not quite.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh, let me take down the I forgot with what you said. Okay. I'm gonna put I said what I said because I said what I said. She is an up and coming YouTuber. I'm gonna put her information if you are unfamiliar with her, but I'm sure most of you are familiar with her. You've heard her on Lady T Bug's channel, you've heard her on other channels. Right now she's not quite to the monetization level. So if you want to help her build her channel, she's at the monetization level. Let me but we just there's some stuff that we got to work out. So if you want to donate to help her grow, this is her Cash App. And we greatly appreciate it if you visit her channel, watch some of her videos. She has a wide variety of content on there, more than I have. Let me just put it that way. I'm so inconsistent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I be trying. I'm not even gonna give myself an excuse.
Well, let's just say this, Vicky. You have a black job that you go to, and so
I do.
And so, to your defense, you do have something to do every day, which I don't have anything to do. So I should have a lot of content because I'm not doing nothing every day much.
All right. Can you hear that?
In the world of hip,
did you hear that?
Yes, we can hear it.
I'm all right. I'm gonna play this.
Hip-hop, few names carry weight like Eugene Henley Jr., better known as Big U. But in 2025, that name echoed not through concert halls, but courtroom walls. The charge? A sweeping RICO indictment entangling loan fraud, wiretaps, and a trail of conspiracy stretching across state lines. This is the case that blurred the line between fame and felony. Federal prosecutors alleged that Big U wasn't just a rapper. He was the mastermind of an enterprise that exploited the COVID-era PPP loan system. Dozens of fake businesses, millions in fraudulent applications. But that was just the surface. Wiretaps painted a darker picture. Calls, encrypted messages, and a network of affiliates moving money, drugs, and influence. So the prosecution's theory? Well, they argued that Big U operated like a CEO, but, with criminal intent. Prosecutors leaned on paper. There were bank records, shell corporations, and even IP addresses tied to loan applications. Then, things got interesting with the audio. Wiretap transcripts revealed slang-heavy conversations that, according to the government, were actually code for criminal activity. A key witness, who was once part of the inner circle, flipped, and ended up delivering testimony that, honestly, connected Big U directly to the fraud ring. The message was clear. This wasn't sloppy crime, it was organized. Big U's team hit back, hard. First, they challenged the wiretaps, calling them unlawful, biased, and honestly taken out of context. Then, they went after the witnesses' credibility, showing a history of deals made just to save their own skin. And finally, they reframed the paper trail. The LLCs? Well, those are pretty standard in the entertainment world. The loans, all managed by third parties. Big U, they argued, wasn't guilty, just famous. After 3 weeks of testimony and 2 days of deliberation, the jury delivered its decision. Guilty on conspiracy and wire fraud. Not guilty on the lead RICO charge. The court cited insufficient evidence of leadership within an ongoing criminal enterprise, but found Big U directly involved in fraudulent activity. Big U had previously served 13 years, beginning in 1991.
I'm gonna pause it there because the AI got a little tricky there. That's all good though. Big U has not been convicted yet. He's still innocent until proven guilty. Let's just say that. Hey, Miss Boogie Down, who came in? Chocolate Drop, how you doing? Sunshine, hello. Okay, yep. So let's kind of get into the indictment of this. Let me go back to. But you guys kind of get the premise. Like he was doing a whole bunch of things that allegedly, but the streets are talking. The streets kind of know. And I also want to add in here too that if you guys remember Love and Hip Hop, I think it was Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. There was a guy named Molly Mall. Now Molly Mall is somehow connected to this too, because Molly Mall got convicted of like basically pimping and pandering. So Molly Mall and Big U were like really close friends. And I think Molly Mall has turned state's evidence on him too, because he's been asking recently for. It just so happens that Molly Mall, he got convicted like I want to say like over 10 years ago. Molly Mall is suddenly asking for a reduction in his probation, his federal probation, at the same time that Big U gets indicted. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. So I said what I said. We're not going to kind of do all of this on my channel unless you want to pivot to, like I said, we can always pivot to your channel if you want to do that. What part stuck out to you the most in this indictment?
Well, I just think the corruption of it all, really, because it was such an array of charges. I mean,
right.
What didn't stand out,
So I'm gonna okay. So
like bring up all of the charges. He had about
all right.
what 25, 30 charges.
There's a bunch of them.
It was a lot of charges. Yeah.
He's got racketeering. Hang on, let me find the rights. Let me make sure I share the right.
Yeah, bring it up because it's been a minute since I read the charges. But
okay,
that's really what shocked me, for him to be doing all of this stuff all at one time simultaneously.
You can see that. There it is. Am I on the right one?
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
Okay, is this the right one? I'm checking my screen. I'm watching this.
Well, it's like go up to A because.
Wait. Okay. No, I'm just making sure I'm sharing the right window.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I'm going to go up. All right. So here we go. Wait. Because YouTube is behind. All right. Here we go. United States District Court for the Central District of California. Now this would, and I keep saying this is interesting because Molly Mall, y'all go back and watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. This is the one that dated. If you one of the old heads that watched the old Love and Hip Hops, I don't watch that shit anymore. But if you one of the ones that used to watch like Love and Hip Hop back in the day, remember Nikki, the one that had the Build-A-Body? She was sweet, but she had that like bad botched plastic surgery. Molly Mall was her man. And Molly Mall was out here doing the most. He had tigers and lions and bears in his house out here, and like he was friends with Ray J, Big U, all them. But he was really good friends with Big U. And this date, March 17, 2025, coincides with the date that Molly Mall asked for a reduction in his probation. So, there's no honor amongst thieves. I would not be
Right.
surprised if Molly Mall came through and said, "Look, I know all of this stuff about Eugene Henley Jr." So USV, Eugene Henley Jr., Sylvester Robinson, Mark Martin, Termaine, Ashley Williams, Armani Affleji. Now, according to my people who are connected to this, Armani Affleji is already out on bond and she's cooperating. Frederick Blanton Jr., Tiffany Shanrika Hines. Okay.
I finna say that's all of them. But keep in mind too, Molly Mall got convicted for his interstate prostitution ring also.
Right. But if he's trying to get off probation, so if he gave up like Big U, and let me make sure I'm monitoring the chat too. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm not even looking at the chat. My bad.
Who did I miss? Hey, Sunshine. I said hi, Sunshine. You only watch the one with Jim and Chrissy, Tanya B. I like Chrissy too. You know what? I actually like Chrissy. At the time, I didn't like Chrissy, but I'm like, you know what? That she's gonna be a ride or die gangster bitch, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I wish Jim would have gave her the baby that she wanted. I really do before she got too old. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the criminal complaint by telephone or other reliable electronic means. I, the complainant in this case, state that the following is true to the best of my knowledge and belief in or around the years of 2010 through the present in the county of Los Angeles. The defendants violated RICO conspiracy, interference with commerce by robbery, transportation of an individual in interstate commerce with the intent that the individual engage in prostitution. See what I'm talking about? Bank fraud. I think that Molly Mall gave him up. So, like, okay.
Because they watched Molly Mall from 2002 to 2014, and then he went to jail in 2021. So he was doing the same thing also, though.
Right.
So I guess they out. So I guess the government figured that they already in it together is basically how it looked like it's going to me.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to loop them all in together, even though Molly Mall was convicted of it, and the
He
other.
served right. He served time and he's on, but he's out on federal probation and he wants his probation reduced or he wants to be off of it now.
Of course.
And if you look up Molly Mall, he's asking actually let me do that right now. Hang on while we looking at this. Because I swear the date of this filing was March 17th, 2025. He was sentenced to 33 months in 2021 in the feds. And judge denies request from Las Vegas music producer Jamal Rashid on March 31st, 2025. So I think he was giving them, this is just my theory. I think he was giving them evidence to like, hey, I know this. You think the judge will let me off? And they didn't make any promises to him. But he still tried. He tried to go for it.
And look at the people, the artists that he worked with while he was doing all of that. Whose name is in there? Usher, Drake, Tyga, Justin Bieber, Scott Disick.
Oh, Scott is notorious, girl.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That.
But he was a pussy hound, and he was like really bad on. He was I felt bad because I think both of his parents died within a short period of time. Like
they kind of made him go left.
Yeah, I think they died back to back, and being a Kardashian, I just can't imagine having that kind of just that family around you. You don't get to be like live a normal life, and he got bad on coke and he drank a lot, like really a lot. But I really do think that his parents passing sent him over the edge. But he's not a good guy either because he was dating that the Richie girl, if I'm not mistaken, when she was like a teenager. The Sophia Richie, Lionel Richie's
Oh, okay.
daughter.
Oh, really?
And hi worldwide collaborations. I'm sorry, it was Molly Mall Studio, and he was the producer they spoke of in the indictment. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, Sunshine. His parents passed away back to back, and I don't think because I did watch that show, I don't think the family was as supportive from what I saw on TV as that. But Usher is another one who is a problem, and he's weird too because he there's nothing wrong with liking older women, but he's got like a fetish for older women, and I don't know, something wrong with Usher too because the word on the curb is that he gave up Justin Bieber to Diddy.
Yeah, that's what the word on the curve is. Thank you,
Okay.
allegedly.
Did you sneeze?
I did. I tried to
I'm
put it on mute
sorry.
when I was
I'm sorry.
sneezing.
God bless you. I was so busy talking. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not a sociopath. I say bless you. Okay. So
Well, you didn't get to hear it because I put it on mute. I just got my grass cut today, so that's what's going on there. Yeah.
So yeah, so these are I'm just scrolling through right now, but we're gonna look at some of these charges. Let's start with the check-in. Okay. So actually no, let's start with the enterprise. Hang on. Because Sir is out here allegedly doing the most. This is all fluff. I don't need to hear his qualifications. This is okay.
Look at all them AKA names.
Right. Okay. This after blah, blah, blah. Eugene Henley Jr., also known as AKA Big U, AKA Unk, AKA Draws, AKA Hannibal Muhammad, AKA Anybody Killer, AKA Dave Austin, Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay, aka and Mark Martin, aka Bear Claw, for a violation of Title 18 under RICO. Tremaine Ashley Williams, this is aka Loose Cannon, for a violation of same thing, RICO. These are all they're just charging them. Okay. I'm just skipping through the fluff. All right. So this is in support of the warrant. I want to go find his charges. They put his whole address out here, girl. All right. So this is some of the stuff that they seized. The items to be seized from Henley's Mercedes, Henley's 62nd Street premises, and Henley's Arlington premises are fruits and instrumentalities of violations of the RICO Act. And what else? Okay. The items to be seized. Oh, these are just okay. Sorry.
Well, they had a firearm in there too. You kind of
let's see. Let me go back.
They had some more stuff in there that they took from him.
Use of a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence. Let's see. Where is that? That's I think that's loose cannon that they were, because he's another crazy one. This Robinson, this is a guy who's crazy, and there's another one who, okay, let me I gotta look at I have to look at the screenshot because the person that my coworker knows, or that she's related to by marriage, she was telling me some of the stuff, and then I went online to go look up some of the stuff that he did, and I'm like, well, damn, she was telling the truth. She had more intimate details. Like one of these guys, Brick Baby, and he's known as Brick Baby. Brick Baby has gone on so many high speed chases. He has held his baby mama up at pistol point and calling her cuz and all these like weird names. He's a wild card in this too. But he kind of hurt himself. All right, here we go. Hang on one second. Can you talk to them? Let me grab my chapstick real quick.
Okay. Let's see who else. Hey D Dub, thanks for joining us tonight. And I don't see anybody else that came into the chat. But if you just came into the chat, we're just going to go over the documents of the Big U crime spree, crime enterprise is what the government call it. And I'm gonna have to agree with Buckwheat on some of this stuff. The police, they're just doing a lot as far as these documents go. They're giving out a lot of information on these documents as if they want the public to know where this guy's located. In other words, since they couldn't really they haven't really indicted him yet, but they're doing the same. He hasn't went to prison yet, right? He haven't been found guilty or not guilty. But in my eyesight and in my view, by reading these documents, they're giving out so much pertinent information. And in my opinion, it looked like, well, they're saying that they're a metropolitan gang. That's exactly what the FBI is calling it, Sunshine. And so, and let's just keep it real. Anytime you get a group of people together, 3 or more, the popo is going to say that you're a gang, whether you're a gang or not, you know. And so, in my opinion, the way that these documents read, and once we start reading these documents, you're going to see what I'm talking about. It seemed like they're trying to corrupt the jury, to me, like they're trying to get public opinion about this guy. So when it does go to court, and when they do get ready to try to sentence him, they'll have justification. And but they better come with the all the wiretaping that they did or what have you. They better come with the evidence. But in my opinion, they put a lot in these documents that didn't necessarily have to be here in order to try to, make this case bigger than what it is. And of course, they even had the gang unit to investigate them. And we already know how gang units operate in each city. It's not a monolithic way that they operate, but when you have a gang force on the police force, they're definitely gonna, to me, they add fluff in, and they try to incriminate you on anything that they can, whether it's big or small. I don't. Let me see. It says Los Angeles, so Sunshine. It is the Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force, so I'm assuming that they're in Los Angeles, because that's what the documents are saying. And Sunshine wanted to know, okay, but Sunshine wanted to know, this is Los Angeles, right? Because it is the Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force.
Most of this is
where all
in
of this
LA.
went down. But some of it went down in other cities too, though, didn't it?
Vegas. That's where the
Vegas. Okay.
Oh, how far are we in? We in 30 minutes? Okay. It's not alleged. Somebody died. Yeah. So that's where a lot of this went down, is in LA and and some of it Vegas. But what you say, but public opinion can corrupt the outcome of the case. When it comes to jury selection, I would think so, yeah. I mean, but this is just
but don't you think they put a lot of information in these documents, though, to try to persuade the public? They put a lot of this information in here, to me, to try to persuade the public. So whenever it do go down, they'll look like they're justified.
Yeah, I mean, but they've been watching this. They've been watching them for a while, and it's like, damn, you guys don't know that the feds, like, if you're out there doing crime, like, you don't realize that the feds are like, all they have to do is sit back and watch Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I mean, and Facebook. Literally, they don't really even have to investigate much anymore. They don't have to do they can listen to wire, because some of this is wiretap too. They don't have to do much anymore. So, I mean, they kind of seal the deal for themselves. Like, big, I don't want to, as much as I want to play some of the clips, some of them are, it could be copyright claimed. I just don't want to risk it. But But a lot of this, Big U is on. A lot of these guys are on camera incriminating themselves. I'm serious. If you just go search Big U talking about Nipsey Hussle, it's like he has a callous attitude about um oh, really quick, some background on rest in peace Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was signed to Big U's record label. Big U was the word is that Big U was extorting Nipsey. Nipsey got mad and kind of destroyed some studio equipment. But then he was still expecting Nipsey to pay in to like the gang, because Nipsey was associated with the Rolling 60s Crips. Nipsey said no more. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. But it was supposed to be, they had like a kind of like a tense relationship, but just they kept it cordial enough. And then Nipsey ended up getting smoked by some dweeb who is supposedly a snitch. So it's just this guy allegedly, he's been out there he was like trying to emulate himself after Suge Knight, kind of. So okay, I'm sorry. All right, let's begin. So the summary of the investigation. In February 2021, the FBI Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force on Violent Gangs launched an investigation into Henley's criminal enterprise, the Big U Enterprise, and its association with the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip street gang, aka the Rolling 60s, which the gang unit began investigating in August 2020. The Big U Enterprise, okay, so I have to flip over, y'all. So if I'm not looking at the chat, I'm sorry. Okay. The Big U Enterprise is a mafia-like organization that utilizes Henley's stature and long-standing association with the Rolling 60s and other street gangs to intimidate businesses and individuals in Los Angeles. This is called like the check-in. The Big U Enterprise is led by Henley. Henley is a self-admitted member and original gangster, or OG. I love how they like to break down our ebonics of the Rolling 60s. A violent criminal street gang with associated sets in several other states. Henley is widely regarded as the leader within the Rolling 60s. In the 80s, Henley rose to a prominent position in the Los Angeles drug and Rolling 60s hierarchies. During this time, Henley also earned a reputation as an enforcer for the Rolling 60s. Some members of the Big U Enterprise are also members of the Rolling 60s. Henley is able to lead the Big U Enterprise because of his standing as the face of the Rolling 60s for decades and his reputation for violence, including murder. At times, the Big U Enterprise partners with members and associates of the Rolling 60s and other criminal elements for mutual benefit, but the Big U Enterprise is a distinct and independent criminal enterprise engaged in criminal activity. And this is like just a little sub note. In interviews, Henley has stated that he believes his story is the modern day mafia story. So he's modeling according to the FBI, he's modeling himself as after the mafia. We know what happened to all of them. Either they snitched or they died in jail, or they died, right? Still with me?
Are you talking to me or the chat?
Yes, girl.
Yes, I'm still with you.
Okay. Members and associates of the Big U Enterprise are engaged in illegal activities, including extortion, robbery, murder, human trafficking, wire fraud, bank fraud, and other financial crimes, obstruction of justice, illegal debt collection, illegal gambling, conspiracy to commit fraud via illegal gambling, and other offenses in furtherance of the Big U Enterprise and for the benefit of its members and associates. As set forth in detail below, through the course of the investigation, agents gathered information from a variety of sources, including confidential human sources, so snitches, surreptitious recordings, including Title III wiretaps, search warrants for social media, iCloud and Google accounts. What am I telling y'all? Watch what you put online. If you're out there doing crime, watch what you put online. financial records from both individuals and companies or organizations, toll records showing communications between conspirators, victims, and Big U Enterprise members and associates, cell site location information from numerous phones, including Henley, Robinson's, and Martin's. So just because you turn your phone off does not mean they can't track it or it won't ping to a cell site. Sorry, I take a sip.
The worst thing they could have done was got rid of the payphone. The
Girl,
criminals.
girl. I mean, even who was it? Well, we just listened to a song. It's like, oh, my phone ain't connected. I got Bluetooth, but listen, it's still pinging off of like these cars now. Like even the cars now, the cars have GPS logging in it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, your Alexa and
Mhm.
everything that's connected to the internet can be connected to the FBI.
Girl.
And like you said, social media is one aspect of them getting the information, but your cell phone, and everybody put everything in their cell phone, text messages, pictures, data. You keep everything in your cell phone, and that cell phone is nothing but a computer on your hip to the government in one way or the other, and that's the way they want it.
So I'm gonna skip a little bit because they pretty much used they they have people who are telling. They did surveillance, vehicle tracking, poll cameras, recording devices, confidential sources, and information gleaned through the undercover purchases of firearms and narcotics. Interesting.
So that light pole that's in front of your house,
Right.
they're watching you on
Yeah.
camera, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm. All right. The United States District Court for the Central District of California authorized multiple wiretaps, wire and electronic interception orders for telephones being used by certain subjects of the investigation, including Henley, Robinson, Martin, and Zahira Mitchell, aka Brick Baby. This is the person that my coworker knows, or she's married into the family. Mitchell, aka Mitchell. The court also authorized the interception of audio and visual nonverbal conduct via closed circuit television CCTV through the installation of video and audio bugs in a location. Since the inception of this investigation, the FBI, IRS, criminal investigation, the IRS, Internal Revenue Service criminal investigation, IRSCI. That's the first time I heard of that, baby. So, hang on one second. Let me
No, Vicky, a lot
you
of
wanna
times that's how they get criminals is through the IRS.
but this is the
Remember?
IRSCI.
Yeah, I've never heard of the IRSCI, but when they audit people, they have to have somebody to bring out the charges on them.
Oh, I
But
gotta
the
go answer
IRS done brought a lot of people down.
I gotta go answer my door. So talk to the chat real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess you don't want me to finish reading while you answer the door, because then you wouldn't um know the information. But anyway, Sunshine, you're right. You said it sounds more of gang related to me, more than what they're pushing the narrative to be that way. Are they pushing the narrative to be that way? Well, they say it's gang related and mafia style. So which one is it? Is it a gang or is it the mafia? So they're trying to elude that it's actually both of them. And you say we live in such a technology based world, and I'm not sure why criminals choose to use technology in the acts of crime. I don't either, but you really can't get away from it, because you heard what it said. Cameras on poles, and now they have what they
Thank
call
you.
face recognition. They can recognize your face anywhere now. So it's no getting away from it. So really, it don't really pay to be a criminal no more. You
It
can't really
doesn't.
get away with it.
I mean, the way they got things kind of, I don't know. I mean, the IRS criminal investigation. that's interesting. That's something for me to research further. But the way they got things like mapped out,
Mhm.
I mean, they're watching everything. And it doesn't matter which president's in office, they're restricting us more and more when it comes to like what's legal, what's not legal. I mean, what excuse me, what they can access, what they can use in an investigation. I mean, they can use pretty much anything in your personal life in an investigation against you.
Even rap lyrics, remember?
Yeah, they the rap. Now there's there you know that little guy Tay K. I don't know if you've been watching this down in Texas by you. Tay K. Have you heard of him?
Nope. But I
So
remember YSL and they want to bring those lyrics into the case.
well, this young man, he's got double basically he's got life or double life. Let's put it that way. He just did his second trial. In the first trial, everybody took deals. TK was I think he's like 15 or 16. TK was he had a bunch of different like criminal activity, including murder charges, right? And he what music? What music I said
That
what
was
I
on
said?
that's when we had the video going.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope well we'll see. Um so TK basically went on the run. He broke his ankle monitor and went on the run. He was like 15 or 16 and he did a whole music video and the chorus was like fuck a beat. I was trying to win the case, but I didn't beat that case. Now I'm on a race. So he went on. I mean, they use his lyrics against him, but they were true because I mean, he got convicted. He just got convicted a few days ago. So I mean, the lyrics nowadays, the lyrics are generally true. I'm serious. Like these kids, they're so stupid. They're self snitching. Like we, back in the day when I first started listening to rap, a lot of times they were just bolstering and lying. So anyway, all right, let me get back to this. Okay, these are all of the investigation entities that they have collaborated with in order to build this case against Big U and others. So we learned about the IRSCI, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California, North Las Vegas Police Department, what up? Los Angeles PD and other local agencies have interviewed more than 50 individuals, including subjects of the investigation, who agreed to voluntarily provide information, as discussed further below. Based on the information learned from these individuals and other sources, FBI SAs, IRSCI SAs, North Las Vegas PD detectives, and LAPD detectives requested and obtained additional search warrants and subpoenas. Below, I summarize the information and evidence obtained thus far from these various investigative tools, where relevant to the requested complaint and warrants, the investigation remains ongoing. So they are still investigating this man. So the gentleman I was telling y'all about, Mitchell, that's Brick Baby, he is the subject of a separate sealed indictment pending in another case. He's still under investigation in a separate. He's still going on. He's calling from the federal lockup, federal holding. He's still calling into the podcast that he's on, where he's already incriminated himself. Currently, he's still calling in and further incriminating himself. Just so y'all know, I'm just letting y'all know. These people don't stop. They're stupid. Summary of the probable cause. Henley Robinson and Martin and others, known and unknown, are members of the Big U enterprise, blah, 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 whose members and associates engage in other things: murder, kidnapping, robbery, extortion, interstate transportation for the purpose of prostitution, bank fraud, wire fraud, embezzlement, and obstruction of justice. The Big U enterprise operates within the Central District of California and elsewhere. The Big U enterprise, including its leaders, members, and associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18. That is a group of individuals associated, in fact, that engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Big U enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members and associates function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the purposes of the Big U enterprise. The purposes include, but are not limited to, the following: enriching Big U enterprise members and associates by using power and status of the Big U enterprise and Henley as an original gangster of the rolling 60s to commit extortion, robbery, fraud, and other crimes. Promoting and protecting and expanding the power, reputation, and profits of the Big U enterprise and its members and associates through the use of intimidation, fear, violence, threats of violence, assault, extortion, and murder. Using social media platforms, documentaries, podcasts, interviews, and Henley's reputation and status to create fame for and stoke fear of the Big U enterprise, its members, and its associates. All right. Whatever they're talking about. Okay. Financially, I'm skipping ahead just a little bit. Financially enriching Big U enterprise members and associates by defrauding mortgage lending businesses to make loans to employees of entities under the control of the Big U enterprise and its member and associates, including Unique Music Entertainment, aka Unique Music, and Developing Options. Did you notice that when you were going through this?
Yeah, that's why I said you see all these charges on here?
All right.
Like Sunshine say, the charges go on and on and on. And it but go ahead and finish reading it because there's some more coming up.
Gratifying Big U enterprise members and associates by trafficking and exploiting sex workers and concealing and protecting illegal activities of the Big U enterprise and its members and associates from detection of law enforcement by means that included, amongst other things, witness tampering and obstruction of justice. Beginning no later than 2010 and continuing to the present in Los Angeles County within the Central District of California and elsewhere, Henley, Robinson, and Martin, each being a person employed and associated with the Big U enterprise and enterprise engaged in, and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly and intentionally conspired to violate Title 18, which is the RICO. That is, to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Big U enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, as that term is defined in Title 18. Multiple acts involving murder, chargeable under Nevada revised statutes, kidnapping, chargeable under Nevada revised statutes, robbery, charged under California Penal Code, extortion, charged in California under California Penal Code. Let's see, where was that? Hold on. Extortion, murder.
You read all of that.
Okay, so that's all extortion. All of that's so multiple counts of extortion. It was further part of the conspiracy that Henley, Robinson, and Martin agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of affairs of the Big U enterprise. Now, I want to pause here for a second. One of these guys, he said that Big U would send them out to. This is all on No Jumper, the No Jumper podcast. He said this, that Big U would send them out to rob or extort people, and then Big U would later on give that person their money back. So it was like he's on video stating that, yeah, Big U had us going to rob or steal from certain people or extort certain business people, and then the people would, like, he would go give the money back to the people. So it was all intimidation act. Okay.
So I guess that is kind of mafia behavior.
Yeah. So I think to me, it sounds like he was making them like putting a face to it, like I can come and get your money, and I can control where your money goes. You know what I mean? It's weird. I mean, that's a weird thing. Yeah. Or I can rob you or not rob you. or I control.
In
I
other
know,
words, I'm running everything. I'm running
right.
all of this. This is my block.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Where was that? 18. Henley and other members and associates of Big U Enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of Big U Enterprise through the following means and methods, amongst others. Members and associates of the Big U Enterprise committed and conspired, attempted and threatened to commit acts of violence, including murder, armed assaults, robberies, extortion, acts of intimidation, and threats of violence to generate income, create an atmosphere of fear, protect and expand the Big U Enterprise's reputation for violence, and expand the Big U's enterprise criminal operations. Members and associates of the Big U Enterprise used Henley's history and reputation, including his connections to the violent Rolling 60s street gang, to tout the Big U Enterprise's reputation for violence and that the Big U Enterprise controlled Los Angeles. As part of the Big U's enterprise purported control of Los Angeles, individuals, including professional athletes, musicians, and others, intending to conduct certain types of businesses, to conduct certain types of business in Los Angeles, including both legitimate business and illicit criminal conduct, were required to check in. Now, this is where the check-in part comes in. Like if you're, I don't these see. This is where the niggatry comes in, that I don't like. The check-in part. You're somebody who's in town. Yeah, and I'm black. I'm operating and I'm working and I'm doing stuff. They want you to check in and pay a fee for just even being there, having the privilege of being in LA. I don't like that. But does Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber have to check in? Does Shakira have to check in? Like that part is just crazy to me. Okay, let me start. So we're required to check in with Henley prior to traveling to Los Angeles or engaging in certain activities to obtain protection from the Big U Enterprise while in Los Angeles. Henley hosted a podcast titled Checking In, the opening theme song of which explained, when you hop off the plane, check in. Penthouse suite, check in. When your feet hit the street, check in. Because if not, shit get hot. You better check in. The check-in included both a payment to Big U Enterprise as well as requesting permission from Henley to conduct certain activities, including acts of violence that were sanctioned by the Big U Enterprise. As Henley described in the documentary film that he produced about his life titled Hip Hop Uncovered, if I don't pick up the phone, that can mean death for somebody. As Henley stated in the Nothing to Something podcast, you gonna check in. You could choose not to. It's gonna be a problem. If you choose not to check in, you suffer the consequences. You feel like you got something bigger than what's there. And that not checking in is basically an act of war. It ain't not one human being who not gonna check in. So
Child, where he get this thinking from?
that's what I'm girl, that's what I'm talking about. Like this
He a little bit worse than Suge Knight, ain't he? I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
Suge was this bad, was he?
Well, Suge was hanging Vanilla Ice from Suge was doing
Yeah,
a big red to Vanilla Ice. When Big Red hung Flash, was it Flash? No, it was the the blonde haired guy. He went
but wasn't he basically treating his, the people that was like in the studio or the people that wanted to make money off of him? He was basically kind of treating those people like that, but he wasn't doing that to the. I mean, he wasn't. You didn't have to like check in into the city whenever you came into town.
No, you didn't.
This really is some Crip and Blood stuff, some gang activity. If you
What
got to check in to come into the city, that's wow.
it I think like Sunshine is saying, Suge was more a bully in the music
In the
industry.
music industry, yeah.
I think Big U is an all around asshole. Like
Hmm.
I think I mean he bullied the streets and bullied those in the music industry as well. So, but
Right.
that checking in, for those who have come in, if I didn't say speak to you, I'm sorry. I think I missed someone. Hi, Cotton
Cotton
Candy Curls.
candy
You didn't get the
and a lady.
hey. I think I did say hi to a lady. And worldwide collaborations. Yeah, big. The yeah. That's a those names are weird. I'm not even gonna go there. It's for um, but yeah. So that check-in thing is that's
Hmm.
he's Big U is notorious for this checking in thing.
Well, Ebony's saying
It
that it's always been a standard in LA Compton Watts area. So okay.
I mean it is, but I'm like, well, damn. I mean, do why you don't do that to the white folks? Like, if they go check into the Marriott, or to like, one of these fancy hotels, do you go run down there and surround them with 30, 40 Crips and
I
say,
bet you they
hey,
don't. Mm-mm.
exactly, why are you doing it to our people? Why are you doing it to each other? All right, let's continue. Let me hide this so y'all can see along. While members and associates of the Big U Enterprise use Henley's and Big U Enterprise's history and reputation to control Los Angeles through violence, fear, and intimidation, Henley simultaneously attempted to create an air of legitimacy for the Big U Enterprise by promoting himself as a reformed gang member, focused on bettering his community through purported nonprofit through a excuse me promoting himself as a reformed gang member focused on bettering his community through purported nonprofit organizations he founded, such as Developing Options, and by soliciting donations from celebrities and grants from governments and foundations to these charitable organizations. I'm gonna find this video really quick of Chris Brown sitting there looking shook because Chris Brown wants to be down too. And even though Chris Brown, he's a nutcase and he can't fight, but he got Chris Brown sitting there like you could tell Chris Brown was being extorted. But that's probably good for his ass though too. He want to be a gang member so bad. Okay, I'm gonna share. I'm just gonna
He
share
said he
this real
want that
quick.
he want that protection.
Hang on. You said he what?
Say he said he want that protection.
Go on somewhere with that. Chris Brown better go sit his ass down somewhere, and be rich, and keep having them babies like you Elon Musk or something. All right, you can see that. Let me just play. I'm gonna play this real quick.
Who so-called made it and not giving back. If you can go to the club and spend $80,000 on bottles, and you can spend $10,000 to go in the club, but you haven't done nothing to help the neighborhood. This young man just gave out 500 pair of tennis shoes, and he's about to give out another 500 pair of tennis shoes.
Chris Brown sitting there looking like a stimp.
Hard on people who so-called made.
He just gave 500. He about to give a 500 more. Did anybody tell Chris Brown that he was about to give 500 more? Did anybody notify Chris Brown?
Now, cause he looked very surprised, don't he?
He's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But that's what he get, though. That's what he get.
He want to be down. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and yes, Big U is known for his charitable. He kind of like convoluted his charity with receiving money, and yeah. So it's what you say, Sunshine. Chris had an era. Hey, thank you, N Harmon. Chris had an era that's all he surrounded himself with was gang members. Yes, he did. The neighborhood. Yeah. I know, Ebony, that was a surprise, Chris. Chris just sitting there like, listen, yeah. Speak up for yourself, boy. So celebrities have to check in when they come to yes, celebrities have to check in when they come to these different communities. Apparently. So if I just want to pop in and let's say I'm an author, and I want to give out backpacks full of school supplies. I guess they would require me to check in. Screw that.
And give them a some of the donation that you know,
Right.
and pay a fee. Now, is this just in Los Angeles, Ebony, or in the Watts area, or
Yeah, Ebony, please do share. And
yeah,
if you
because
like,
she's in California, so
i-
she know.
if you like to come up and give us some of the, because I am not from LA. I live, I'm in Nevada, so I'm in Vegas, so I don't know the full politics of how things work. So if you'd like to share um your expertise on it, and I would love to know. I really would. I'm gonna keep going. If you just let me know, Ebony, if you want me to drop the link. Um. Okay. Okay. And I'm just okay. In actuality, Henley and other members and associates of the Big U Enterprise, Big U Enterprise use these purported nonprofit entities to enrich and further the objectives of the Big U Enterprise, including by embezzling funds meant as charitable donations to the nonprofit entities, using the nonprofit entities to fraudulently apply for government assistance and loans, using the nonprofit entities to falsify employment and financial records to personally benefit members and associates of the enterprise. Members and associates of the enterprise would discipline other members and associates who acted in ways seen as detrimental to the enterprise, or other individuals who were seen as disrespecting the enterprise or its members, including through threats and acts of violence such as assault, kidnapping, and murder. Members and associates of the enterprise would avoid detection by law enforcement by, among other activities, attempting to thwart and evade law enforcement surveillance, destroying video surveillance and other evidence, threatening or otherwise pressuring victims or witnesses of crimes committed by members or associates of the Big U enterprise to avoid interaction with or to provide untruthful statements or testimony to law enforcement officers. In sum, there is probable cause to believe that in furtherance of the Big U enterprise, A. Henley kidnapped and murdered victim RW in Las Vegas in retaliation for perceived disrespect to the Big U enterprise and endeavored to conceal that murder with other Big U enterprise members and associates. This is the young man that, like, this is supposed to be a rapper on his label. And the premise that they're putting out is that Big U well, we know that, okay, so we do know that this young man, he was brought out to the desert in North Las Vegas, and his body was, they were dragging him out, and his body was found in the desert, like kind of in an undeveloped area of North Las Vegas. And they think what their theory is that it was from disrespect from this young man, because the young man supposedly made a diss track about Big U because he kind of he wasted some studio time that Big U paid for. But as I stated on I Said What I Said's channel, there's tea out there that this young man this young rapper was living with Big U, and Big U was his mentor, and he was even on like the football team that Big U, started up. This one of these organizations that he started up. He lived with him and Big U's son. Big U's son is trying to, he's like a professional athlete. And what happened is the young man was wearing Big U's son's like diamond chain, and the son didn't care, but Big U thought something was off with that. So it was kind of like some sort of you know, gay, something gay. That's what the word on the street is.
Oh, wow.
So because his son doesn't have a woman, doesn't have a lady.
Mhm.
And not many men are gonna wear another grown man's chain,
Right.
unless y'all going out to the club and you trying to like, trying to impress the girls or whatever, like, something weird like that. But no, he was,
Well, I mean, they're young though. You know, he might have been just trying to impress the public. Period. You know.
I don't know, but it just, I guess from what I heard, what I read, it was like the attitude was too nonchalant, and From my
Mm.
understanding, you didn't really like the son and you a lady. What you say? You knew I was gonna go there.
But let me just say this. So is he gonna take everybody out that his son is interested in? I mean, if that's the case, and if if
No,
that's what he think, so
not
anybody
the
that's
women.
around his son, are they gonna their lives gonna be in jeopardy? And he messed up by messing with the government. So what was he doing? Was he getting like businesses to get these loans from the government, these grants and stuff? Or because I know he wasn't putting a big U name on these government grants and thinking
No,
he
okay.
was gonna get away with it.
Let's see.
Well,
Let's
I mean, his real name is Eugene, so I guess
Eugene. Okay.
yeah, Eugene Henley. So that do
Let's
sound
see.
like a legitimate name, but okay.
Let me actually search. Let's see if I can search. Okay, nothing under PPP. What was it called? Paycheck protection
Yeah, paycheck
uh,
protection plan.
loan. Let me see. Let me try loan. Would help if I spelled loan right. Let's see.
See, I thought he was doing like a lot of people were doing, um, because they did
Okay,
have people in California that they were busting for, just telling people how to set these, they had like this one lady that was just doing everybody's PPP loan. So,
girl, they had some folks out here was like, girl, I could get you. No, because I'm just too scary. I'm like, no. I done been to jail. I'm cool on that. I'm cool with trying to, no, I don't want nothing. But there was a lot of people out here. Um, they had certain people that was just like, oh no, girl, she can get your paperwork done like this. And yeah, you get your money within 2 weeks. Like that, it just sounds too good to be true. And we never have to pay it back. No, girl, they gonna forgive it in like, they forgive it in a couple years. Like it just sounded too good to be true. But that's coming up in here. All right. Let's see. Henley and Rob. Okay. Henley Robinson, Martin, and Williams committed an arranged robberies to enrich the Big U enterprise. Further, the extortions committed by the Big U enterprise and to create the impression that the Big U enterprise controlled Los Angeles. Henley Robinson and Martin extorted individuals in LA for purported protection, when such protection was actually from violence committed by the Big U enterprise itself. Henley and Affleje arranged for the interstate transportation of individuals to engage in prostitution for Henley and the enterprise. So that's the chick she's cooperating with the people already. She's already made bond, she's out. Henley defrauded various companies, donors, athletes, celebrities, and providing donations to the enterprise charities, only to transfer those donations to his own personal bank accounts for personal use. Henley fraudulently obtained funding from the City of LA Mayor's Office through the Gang Reduction Youth Development Foundation, portions of which receive federal funding. Ain't that a bitch? Henley defrauded and attempted to defraud the SBA for loans that benefited the enterprise.
that's where he
There we
made
go.
his mistakes. He made his mistakes messing with the government. Why are you messing with government and city money? That is crazy.
To enrich Blanton, the enterprise associate who purported to work for the enterprise's charitable organization, Henley, Martin, Blanton, and Hines committed bank fraud by submitting fraudulent mortgage applications, and Henley, Robinson, and Martin and other members and associates of the enterprise attempted to obstruct investigations into and conceal the above referenced crimes committed on behalf of the enterprise. All right, let's see. Okay, the Big U enterprise. As discussed herein, I believe that Henley led the Big U enterprise. Robinson was a years-long associate and confidant of Henley and served as his right-hand man, underboss, and enforcer in the Big U enterprise. And Martin was also a close confidant and trusted lieutenant of Henley in the enterprise. Much of the Big U enterprise's structure and affiliation with the Rolling 60s is in the public domain. In the television series Hip Hop Uncovered, the docu-series, which Henley executive produced, Henley detailed the history of the Rolling 60s and his involvement with that gang. Why are they telling like this? Henley admitted he was a Rolling 60s member from the first generation. Henley advised that the Rolling 60s was a large Crip gang known to instill fear in the community. Henley claimed that he did not have a gang-related tattoos because people already knew where he was from, and it was, quote, never a question, end quote. A similar quote that Henley often repeated when asked why he had no gang tattoos is that, quote, it isn't on you, it's in you, end quote. After encountering legal trouble as a juvenile, Henley moved from California to Chicago. Henley admitted elsewhere to being, quote, on the run, end quote, and conducting illegal drug activities in Chicago. While Henley was living in Chicago, Henley decided to move back to LA to participate in the gang war after an associate's murder. At that time, Henley noted his mentality was that, quote, we hunting. To us, it wasn't about fighting. It was about guns. Now, my philosophy was the gun can get you anywhere and everywhere you need to be, end quote. This is crazy.
Very.
After Henley returned to LA in the 80s, he became known as a fighter for the Rolling 60s by fighting other gang members. As Henley recalled, those fights were about dominating the Rolling 60s competition. Henley remembered he and approximately 200 other Rolling 60s members went to a Run DMC concert at the Long Beach Convention Center to establish and maintain their dominance within the LA-based street gang scene. Henley characterized his and the Rolling 60s moral code at that time as, quote, get them where they get you. Get them before they get you, excuse me. Throughout the 80s, Henley fostered a fierce and earned reputation for the violence, which included multiple charges for first-degree unaliving, as well as a charge for attempted unaliving of a peace officer. According to these statements, Henley believed that by 1987, he had cemented his reputation as a tough person who should not be crossed, pardon me. Henley recounted serving time in county jail where he beat up other inmates for the purposes of establishing a pecking order. Henley was also earning money through the drug trade in other cities such as Minneapolis, where he realized he had influence over other Rolling 60s gang members. So what it sounds like is that he fled LA for a little bit, went to Chicago and kind of rolled out the gang stuff there. He kind of was influential in rolling it out into other cities. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When Henley,
and then at the
go
end
ahead.
of the day, this ninja is 58 years old to be acting like
Mhm.
this. Way too old. Should have been out the game a long time ago, but I'm gonna digress. When you said Run DMC concert, that made me look up his age. I'm like, hell, he the same age I am. Run
Girl, I mean,
DMC.
he's somebody peepaw, you know? Like
Right.
he is a peepaw and he is out
If
here
he ain't
still.
a great peepaw, shit.
Oh, Sunshine, Sunshine said they had them down in Florida also. Oh, the scammers.
She's talking about PPP loans. Yeah, she said that.
Girl, those
Yeah,
scammers.
they had them
Yeah.
everywhere, Sunshine, everywhere. They was here in my little city too, child. And I was like, I was like, Vicky, thank you, but no thanks.
I'm cool. I mean, that
cool.
money, like some of the money that they were getting, like, 34,000, like 60,000. I'm like, yeah,
Listen,
it sounds delicious. I would love
yes.
it, but I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank
I
you.
can't tell you how many people paying that money back right now in this city. And listen, people, we had people getting unemployment. We're in Texas, right? Why we
Girl.
have people in getting unemployment from Arizona?
Yes.
Just crazy. Just doing too much. We do, like what you call it? What kind of neglect with behavior? What did you call it?
Niggerish.
Niggerish behavior.
Girl.
We just do too much.
We take it overboard and then we
Yes.
broadcast it.
And then
Like,
surprise when we caught.
all them folks got me. No, you got yourself.
Right.
All right. When Henley was 22 years old, he claimed to stop selling drugs and
Take
transition
take
to.
her comment off the
Oh, I'm sorry.
screen so
Sorry.
they can see the
I'm
thing.
sorry, y'all. Okay. When Henley was 22 years old, he claimed to stop selling drugs and transition to a different racket. He believed his moniker Big U big was so big and ominous, pardon me. Every time I go through a door, I really was a beast. That was the mentality. End quote. Despite having such power within the rolling 60s, Henley did not have a reliable source of income outside of the drug trade. Henley subsequently connected with the hip hop artist Kenneth Green, aka Papa LQ, and became his manager. In the docuseries, Papa LQ recounted that Henley was in tune with both the community and the gang culture. Henley also became the manager of hip hop artist Ricardo Emmanuel Brown, aka Corrupt. Now, for those on the West Coast, y'all know Daz and Corrupt. Corrupt was under death row too. Um, so Corrupt is an OG in the game. A self-admitted rolling 60s gang member. In 1991, Henley was found guilty and sentenced to 23 years in state prison for robbery. And as he as he admitted, he was also charged with kidnapping. While Henley was incarcerated, Henley stated that Corrupt maintained contact with Henley and ensured that he was kept abreast of developments in the music industry. In 2022, the podcast the Dub and C Mac show, Hanley described himself as an enforcer in prison and recounted knocking someone's eyeball out of their socket as well as committed stabbing.
I'm gasping. But let me tell you guys what he got in 1991. Guess who this fool robbed? He robbed a undercover sheriff deputy
Lord.
of some of the powder, and that's what he went to prison for, along with these other along with these other charges. But how stupid can you be? He actually robbed an informant. Is what he did. Is how he got caught up in the 90s.
Girl, I'm still freaking out over because I missed this knocking somebody's eyeball out of their socket as well as that eyeball out. The stabbing is one thing, but the knocking somebody's eyeball out of their socket.
Right.
Oh, I'm cool. In 2004, Henley was released from prison. In the docuseries, hip hop artist Calvin Broadus Jr., we know him, Snoop Dogg, aka Snoop Dogg, characterized Henley as institutionalized. You say the wrong thing, you get fucked up. He was short tempered and serious about the shit he was on. Something about him I like because I felt like he was a leader. See, we got to stop we got to stop that normalizing this just out of pocket behavior. We need to start normalizing going to therapy.
Girl,
That's
Snoop was scared.
I know he was.
That's why he said that shit.
Because
he ain't outlaws this man. He was scared of this man.
I mean, because he went from Suge to Master P to this man. Yeah.
To this man. Yeah, he was shaking out of his boots. Because at the end of the day, he's not really a real gangster himself.
No, he's not. Just like Dr. Dre. Henley claimed that he was focused on healing his community when he returned home from prison. According to Henley, his primary objective was to effect change and lift his community to a better place instead of destroying it. Henley's own words, though, showed the falsity of his claimed reformation. For example, on December 31st, 22, on an intercepted call, Henley explained his motivation for committing murders on behalf of the Big U enterprise, stating, quote, "What you guys see on the internet, y'all keep hearing other people who don't have nothing to talk about but sell. Let me explain something to you. If I would have had a problem with any man, color, creed, king, or kind, the issue would have been resolved and he wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't be here. It ain't no kid, nothing."
Well, hold on, Vicky. What's going on with your phone or your headset or something?
What's happening?
It's kind of going in, like you're real clear, and then it kind of sounds like you're.
Hold on. Let me plug it in. Plug it up.
Yeah, something is going on with that. And also, too, I just want to say, don't it seem like everybody that go to Vlad TV get caught up? I'm gonna just put that out there. to marinate around the streets. Seems like if you go interview with Vlad TV, then 9 times out of 10, whatever it is that you doing, look like you get caught later on down the line. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it kind of sounds like it's far.
It's far. Yeah, it's now it's on the damn laptop microphone. Hang on. Damn it. I hate when it. Okay. Yeah, anybody who goes on Vlad, I know you can hear me, but it sounds far away. But hang on. Anybody who goes to Vlad, he ends up getting them to tell. Damn. Okay, well, you talk to him while I figure this out. Hello?
Sorry about that. He has a way of interviewing people to make them tell on themselves some kind of way. And it's like, he kind of like little Scooter. He pulls it out of them. He'll get to asking question after question. It sounds like I'm in a tunnel now, a lady or Vicky. Yeah, I feel like he's an informant. And it's too many people get caught up after they do an interview with him. And it's a lot of people don't even interview with him no more because of that reason. And I guess they've been kind of keep peeping that game also. And so and he used to be in my algorithm, but I don't even see him in my algorithm anymore. And I never try to look him up because I really never liked him anyway. I didn't like the fact that he was trying to be so down and, really, in my opinion, try to be black. And so, I don't like nobody like that. Oh, okay, I'm good. It was just Vicky kind of sounding muffled. Yeah, I kind of heard her phone kind of going in and out. And but it's that precious iPhone, for all of us Android users. It's that precious iPhone that everybody just, glorifies. At first the battery will die on it. Okay, he married to a black woman, and that's fine. But he's still my best friend is married to a white man, but she don't act like she white, and so he still could stay himself, no matter who he's married to. He still need to be, who he is, and stop trying to act like he's so black. But I feel like he the police. I feel like he's an informant, and I feel like he probably got wiretaps all around his studio. Wherever that studio is, and wherever he do those interviews, I guarantee you he probably tapped in with the feds. And Sunshine say he used the rap culture. I really dislike him. Exactly. He used them to come up. And he always try to act like he's so down with everybody, Oh, she went all the way out. My bad. Maybe her computer must be down also. I don't know. Here she comes. She coming back up. I hope. Let me look in the back chat and see what she's saying. Because I don't even have my documents pulled up. She better come back, because I mean, I'm going to have to pull the documents out and try to find out where she at. I didn't even look and check and see what page she was on. So let me get these glasses so I can read these comments you guys are saying. He used Vlad, a white Jewish man who got rich from the black culture. Yeah, we can hear you, Vicky. I'm telling you. Yeah, it sounds better. I was telling him she better come back up. I ain't got my documents out.
I heard you because I'm on my computer, but I don't know what happened. I wasn't listening when you said the audio kept going out.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear what you were hearing. I couldn't.
Well, it kind of sounded like you were. It wasn't an echo, but it kind of sounded like you could just change. You could hear the changes in the.
It must have switched to my laptop audio. Sorry, y'all.
It switched to something, but it's okay though. It wasn't that bad.
Listen, we all learning. She and I both are up here learning.
Yeah, and Vicky just asking me all these questions, guys. Let me just tell y'all about her. She asking me all these questions about StreamYard, and I'm like, sis, I just been a content creator for 5 days. You know more than I know.
I just be playing around with stuff, but my anxiety be like getting the best of me. I when things ain't right like 100%, I'm like, oh my gosh,
right.
they're all. It's like Carrie, they're all gonna laugh at me. let me share. You can keep talking, but
We're
as
all
far as
family. We're all family. Nobody's gonna laugh at you. This is our same family that we all be in the same circle. Everybody in this chat know us, and we know everybody in this chat. That's right, Lady. We all family.
Vlad
And very
goes, yeah,
patient.
I used to really really watch Vlad because like this is back in the like this is like 10, 12 years ago. I really like Charlemagne, and Charlemagne would be on Vlad, and there so and there's another guy I used to watch named Jack Thriller, and he would go on Vlad. And I just got kind of started noticing some like weird, the weird thing with Vlad, like he asks these questions, and a lot of people, he's got a very big platform, and a lot of these he gets these little young rappers on there, and they are young people on there. They don't know how to, they don't have impulse control, and he knows that. He knows that um that they're gonna answer these questions, and he'll keep asking in a certain way. And a lot of them don't have they don't do media training anymore. So
Hmm.
Vlad, he'll just keep, he keeps poking. And some of them are smart, like you get like a little Boosie on there who's just look at you like, "Mhm,"
Right. Like I'm not answering
like
that.
I'm not answering that. Or he get somebody on there who is I don't know.
Seasoned,
Yeah,
seasoned.
seasoned like a my you know why I used to like Vlad is Vlad. He would interview people like the people that you didn't know that you wanted to hear from, like a Michael J. White. You know who he is, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know who he is.
I like his stories because he's got a lot of stories from because he's been in the business for a long time. He played
Mhm.
Mike Tyson. He's been on Tyler Perry, been in Tyler Perry movies. He's been Spawn. He's got a very interesting career. I want to hear from him. He interviewed the guy from The Last Dragon. I didn't know I wanted to hear about him, but damn, when I heard
I
about him, I
know it was a great story, wasn't
yeah,
it?
and I like hearing those stories. Um, but that's why I was going to Vlad. But he interviews like very interesting people. So it's like, damn, I don't want him in my algorithm. But if other content creators would pick up on that
Yeah.
and start doing it, I would exit that white man all the way out of my algorithm all day.
And I believe some of these guys, because we got a lot of different men on YouTube that I didn't realize. And some of these men, I feel like they're gonna go further and they're gonna be able to reach the masses. But I don't know what I think Vlad used to be on radio or something. He has a connection to people some kind of way. I don't know how he get his
So
access and connections.
I think with Vlad, he was a bootleg DJ. He was bootlegging, and he almost got in trouble, and then something happened where he didn't get in trouble. So then he is kind of like a
He
pioneer when it
snitched.
comes. He probably snitched. He is kind of a pioneer when it comes to like this online thing. But he started building it up, and he stayed consistent with the information that he was putting out. Um it just he got too big for his purchase, and he's done well financially when it comes to like the stock market and so forth. So he's I mean, he is not a street guy whatsoever by any means.
Right.
I don't like what he said about the with the stuff with Farrakhan.
Hmm.
Like Lord Jamar, the stuff with Lord Jamar, that was just weird. Lord Jamar is a weirdo. Um, but like I said, Vlad, he pulls me in with some of these. Damn, it's like, damn, who is that?
Yeah,
Okay,
he had Magic Johnson on there and Abdullah Jabbar and what is his name? Kareem Abdullah
Kareem
Jabbar.
Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah,
Yeah, he have a lot
he
of good people on there that he interview. And
because he
but you
lives in
notice it's
Calabasas.
it's a different style though when he interview the old heads. He don't be
Hmm.
doing them like he do those young kids.
No, he doesn't. He gives them respect. Like there was this Asian rapper, and the rapper's from New York, and he was raised around like I want to say he's Korean, or he might, I don't know. No, I'm sorry, I think he's Chinese. He's a Chinese rapper, but he's from New York. I mean, like he's ghetto Chinese. Like he was raised around like the poorest of the poor when it came. He was in a Chinese gang. Like he was raised around the poorest of the poor, and his mom is an immigrant. He he ended up hanging around like black people. So he's seen the streets. He served time in prison, and he got mad at Vlad. He's like, "Why you always asking? You don't ever ask me about my music. You why you always asking me about like this stuff that can incriminate me, this jail stuff." So Vlad, he gets checked every now and then, but he'll just laugh it off like, you can't do anything to me.
Is his name Contrast?
No, it's
Contrast.
China Mac.
China Mac. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
China
Yeah,
Mac.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. I wish because there are more guys coming out like I think there's one like real life street stars that like Charleston White interviews on, or there's a few of them that are coming out there that a lot of these people are going, like the people who would go on Vlad are going on. They just got like 50 Cent even had a great platform, like this is 50, but he just let his platform go to shit. So anyway, now that the audio's fixed, let me I want to finish this. I want to give some emphasis to this big U comment. Okay. This is on a wiretap, guys. What you guys see on the internet, y'all keep hearing other people who don't have nothing to talk about but sell. Let me explain something to you. If I would have had a problem with any man, color, creed, king, or kind, the issue would have been resolved and he wouldn't be here or I wouldn't be here. It ain't no kid nothing. And it damn near nobody who been in this motherfucker longer than me can stand against me and me be who I am. If I had a problem with any man, and this wouldn't be so funny to me, I'm still who they say I am. Similarly, on April 23rd, 23, on an intercepted call, Henley discussed gang politics with a co-conspirator and stated, "I'm retired, nigga." Well, no, let me read it how it's. "I'm retired, nigga. Activist. I'll pull up on your block right now, nigga, and show up and show out, nigga. That's what happened to the last niggas that thought I was retired." According to the docuseries, as Henley transitioned to life in Los Angeles following incarceration, he returned to the hip hop industry. Corrupt connected Henley with Suge Knight, Lord, the former CEO of Death Row Records. Henley recounted that Suge Knight assisted him financially when he was released from prison. Henley referred to himself as the Blue Suge Knight, as Henley, as of 2004, was widely regarded as the leader of the Rolling 60s. Because of this reputation, Henley was well positioned to ultimately form and lead the Big U enterprise. In approximately 2008, Henley formed a relationship with the hip hop artist Aramis Joseph Ashkadam, aka Nipsey Hussle. After several years, Henley temporarily left the industry after he had a falling out with Nipsey Hussle related to the equipment at Henley's shop. Henley recounted in the docuseries that Nipsey Hussle made a diss song about Henley, but that Henley is a scrapper, not a rapper. Henley stated that even after they settled their differences, he picked up Nipsey Hussle one morning so that Nipsey Hussle could get disciplined for the diss song. You understand what discipline means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody understands? Okay. A lady, to answer your question, I think Vlad does, if you negotiate, Vlad does pay for interviews. But most people just go on there for the exposure.
And keep in mind, in 2004, this ninja was 38 years old talking like this.
Right. So he was disciplining Nipsey Hussle. But from my understanding, I heard about this. I heard about this. I don't know if Ebony probably is. I don't think she's still here, but discipline means he had to get like an ass whooping. However, Nipsey Hussle's brother intervened and told Henley that Nipsey Hussle was not going anywhere. Now, Nipsey Hussle's brother is Black Sam. Black Sam is widely respected in California. LAPD reports documented that violence erupted, and when LAPD officers arrived on the scene, a firearm was presented and discharged. In 2019, Nipsey Hussle was unalived by a member of the Rolling 60s. That is the Shitty Cuz. That's the name. The guy who he took out Nipsey Hussle, kicked him in the head, and then tried to go check into the crazy house. He went on a run and tried to check into the crazy house, saying that, like trying to play like he was crazy. All right, the check-in. Henley and the Big U Enterprise are widely known for requiring a check-in for the out-of-town entertainers or gang members in Los Angeles. As Henley described in the docuseries, if I don't answer the phone, it can be death for someone else. Everywhere there's someone like me, and you can't put a monetary value on his touch in hip hop. After more than 3 decades as a Rolling 60s member and several years managing famous hip hop artists, Henley was widely regarded as an original gangster or OG. In the docuseries, record producer Andre Young, aka Dr. Dre, explained that it is very helpful to have an OG who can quote clear the streets. Within this operating environment, Henley instituted the concept of the quote check-in when hip hop artists and other celebrities visit Los Angeles. How the check-in works. The check-in is a term used when someone travels outside of their home city to another city. During that travel, the individual must check in or meet with the local street representative of said city to pay a quote tax or quote fee for permission to both move about freely and to have an event or conduct business in that other city without the risk of harassment or danger from criminal elements. While Henley and other supporters attempt to persuade the public that the check-in provides safety and security for those who do so, as set forth herein, Henley and the Big U Enterprise also manufacture the very danger they purport to protect against. According to Henley's statements in the docuseries, as corroborated by our investigation, some visiting hip-hop artists and other individuals pay Henley a fee to, quote, check in if they are not from Los Angeles. In the docuseries, James Antony, aka Bimmy, and Steve Lobel, the CEO of A to Z Entertainment, stressed that it is important to know the right people, such as Henley, when visiting places like Los Angeles. However, as podcaster Livingston Allen, aka DJ Academics, explained in the docuseries, the quote check-in is analogous to a commission for the gang or neighborhood where an OG is from. Christian Anthony Mathis, aka Trick Trick. Trick is another one who's got like a big U. I can see an indictment coming from him. Explained that in the docuseries that he enforces the check-in in Detroit, Michigan. Trick added, quote, come without permission. I don't want to hear shit you got to say. I created these laws, so I enforce them. All we coming for is our portion, end quote. Trick further explained that he instituted a, quote, no-fly zone in Detroit in which artists could not perform in the city unless Trick was paid. Without paying a commission to the OG's organizations, such as the Big U Enterprise, visitors to Los Angeles are at risk of violence. Henley has also provided examples of individuals who do not check in with him, quote, until it's too late, end quote, such as rap artist Taekwon Terrell Bowman, aka Quando Rondo, whom Henley discussed in another interview, who was later targeted in a murder-for-hire plot where his associate was killed. I think that's a good point to let's just talk about this check-in shit. What you think about it?
It's crazy to me. I mean, this is.
I just don't like that they're doing it to black folks.
Yeah, and I don't understand it. I mean, I thought, and because I'm not in Los Angeles or California or anything, but I thought some of this mess had died down. I really did. I didn't think it was still this dangerous, up until the year of 2025. I thought when they called themselves kind of dismantling the gangs or kind of getting them under control. And even like in Chicago, you don't hear about, because remember, we were hearing about everybody, people were, passing away every day because of gangs, and that kind of, it kind of calmed down some. So I thought California was the same way. I thought that it had calmed down, but apparently it's not, because of old stupid fools like this that's still on the scene. So it seems like, I guess you got to take the old heads out in order to get a better community. I don't know. I don't know, because his mindset has never changed, and he's old. He's almost a senior citizen acting
Well,
like this. This is crazy.
which and to Sunshine's point, Jay Prince, I have heard things about Jay Prince. Now I didn't hear about that he enforces the check-in. I've heard that it's good to check in with Jay Prince.
Mm.
To
And why would you have to? I mean, they don't own these cities.
That's what I'm saying. But are you doing this to the white folks?
Right.
Are you making Beyonce check in when she has to come perform?
I
I mean,
guarantee you not. But Beyonce has a house in California.
well,
Remember?
but she's talking about that. She said this check-in thing sounds like something Jay Prince does down in Houston. So, and then like I just read Trick Trick is like a failed rapper, in from Detroit, but he's an older man too. Like he's in his 50s too, and he requires a check. He's just talking about how he requires a check-in from people too.
And what
So
is this too late? If they get there 5 minutes and get into the room and don't check in with him, it's too late. I mean, what's the
right,
time frame? I
you
mean, come
supposed to
on now.
check. You're supposed to check in before, and to answer a lady's question, Nipsey Hussle, his brother, their father is Ethiopian. So what is Ashkadem? What is that? That's like a Muslim name. It's an Ethiopian name, I'm assuming. Princes require folks to check in. Is that in the Middle East? I mean, I don't know. I don't. If it's Middle East, I don't know much about Middle Eastern culture. And yeah,
What
Jay
you talking?
Prince is.
Are you talking about Prince, Texas?
She says princes require people to check in. So I mean, I don't think. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I
I don't
see.
know if that's European culture or if that's Middle Eastern culture. But I did hear about this Quando Rondo thing. His folks got his cousin, or his I think it was his cousin who got unalived, and it's just why are we doing that to each other? Like you said, he's an old ass man. Still like trying to hold on to something. It's like because you don't have any talent, and you want a piece, like they just quoted Trick saying that he wants a piece of whatever you're gonna make. What if I'm just like, I just want to come there? My granny lives there. My granny is sick. Still got to check in. It's just it's destructive behavior, and I just don't know when we going.
Stop it.
Yeah.
And streaming is already taking these people money, because the game
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
You no longer sell, 50 million copies of a CD or a cassette tape or whatever it is. I
Right.
think CDs was the last thing that we had, right?
Yeah. I mean,
We've
CDs,
been
and
we've been
then
listening to music so long, hell, I don't even know what the last entity was. I guess CDs was the last thing. And so you can't sell, your music like you used to, and you still have to check in. That's crazy. I
yeah.
mean, to make it make sense though, since they can't make the money that they used to make, I guess he'll have to make his money some kind of way, because he's not getting it on sales.
All right. I'm gonna reach out. I found a good stopping point. Sunshine didn't get taken out because of the check-in situation. Yeah, Sunshine, can you tell us if you know anything about that? Takeoff from the Migos, and Takeoff was innocent. Like it was really, I think it was Quavo that was doing the gambling. Takeoff was just standing right there.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought he got taken out because of a gambling situation.
but it wasn't. I think that was, but Quavo was the one that was gambling. I don't know. I don't know about too much about that. I just know that they, something bad happened. And girl, it's just, I'm just, it's frustrating when I read this kind of stuff, because it's just, it's just draining. It breaks my heart, like when you hear this kind of stuff. Like, why y'all doing all this? He's in a position to make a lot of money to just manage these rappers and stuff, and he's just sitting here extorting people. So we're gonna find a stopping point, and then I'll make, like I said, we can do the remaining on your channel if at a later time if you want. Um, so right now, okay, let me when defending this practice in interviews, Henley has stated that it is no different when a Learjet flies over United States airspace. They want to know who you are. Henley said his practice is no different, which I believe indicates that he purports to own and control Los Angeles through the Big U enterprise. How Henley and the Big U enterprise respond to failures to check in 2022, the FBI interviewed a cooperating witness, CW1, who told the FBI that one of these check-in incidents. The CW said that he knew Henley, who was Rolling 60's member. CW1 also said Henley led a money-making gang that was distinct from the Rolling 60s, referring to the Big U enterprise. According to CW1, rap artists and athletes and other individuals needed to pay Henley a fee when they visited Los Angeles. CW1 believed that the fees Henley collected were extortion payments. All right, so let me read this because this is important. CW1 has a criminal history that includes convictions for possession of for sales narcotics in 2003, 2009, in violation of California health and safety codes, as well as shooting in an inhabited dwelling in 2003 in violation of California Penal Code. CW1 received cooperation credit from the District of California at sentencing in prior drug conspiracy case alleging a violation of Title 21. However, former President Biden commuted CW1 sentence for that offense. Interesting, is that not? So Joe Biden pardoned a cooperating witness. That's just something to think about.
Right. And my whole thing is, we just talked about the technology that we have now, right? And that we have access to.
Mm-hmm.
Why come the popo acting like their hands are tied behind their backs, like they can't convict some of these people and get them off the streets?
Mm-mm. CW1 then recounted that a large buy-in dice game occurred in Los Angeles in June 2019. The game involved the professional boxer AB. Can we guess who that is? I'm going to guess it's Adrian Broner, possibly. Adrian Broner, who is a wild child. AB's associates and several prominent NBA players. According to cooperating witness 1, AB, who I believe is Adrian Broner, and his associates fixed the game and cheated the NBA players out of millions of dollars using teased dice. Following that game, Henley directed a group of Big U Enterprise associates to, quote, rough up AB, who I believe is Adrian Broner, who did not, quote, check in with Henley and to get the money back from him on behalf of the cheated NBA players. Multiple members of the Rolling 60s ultimately arrived, and Henley used them to press AB, once again, who I believe is Adrian Broner. Cooperating witness 1 said that Henley was involved with the incident because Henley was involved in or would approve of any dice games or similar events such as parties involving large sums of money and prominent NBA players and celebrities in Los Angeles. So he had to approve of the parties. Multiple persons involved in the incident who have since been interviewed, including former NBA players, confirmed that Henley was paid $100,000 for negotiating this debt. However, each was later approached by associates of AB and told they still owed the money. Isn't that interesting? I'm just saying, this is deep.
It
Okay.
really is, and it's really Just go ahead.
Cooperating witness one was aware that other instances where NBA players or other celebrities would need to work with and get approval in advance from Henley to ensure their safety at events in Los Angeles, such as parties, gambling games, or advertising shoots. Advertising shoots. Advertising shoots.
So you can't so you can't even play in the NBA without getting permission from him.
Girl, you can't even do your job and go to advertising shoots. And I mean, CW1 said these celebrities would have to seek and or pay Henley for protection and approval or face retaliation from Big U Enterprise. At the outset of the investigation, victim 1 was identified as an extortion victim. Victim 1 is described further below. From April 14th, 2022 until April 15th, 2022, victim 1 conducted a consensually monitored meeting with Henley and other identified individuals. During the meeting, Henley told victim 1 and others that he got into it with AB, once again, I believe is Adrian Broner, after AB cheated a current NBA All-Star out of $1.5 million and a former NBA All-Star out of $5 million. Henley also said that he charged the players $100,000 so that he can get their money back from AB. A confidential informant involved with the cheating scheme corroborated this information, and that AB was confronted for failing to check in with Henley regarding the game. Supposedly legitimate businesses. Okay, so let's talk about the victim 1. Victim 1 has a criminal history that includes arrest for narcotics conspiracy and distribution in violation of the penal code, respectively, for which he is pending sentencing, robbery in violation of the penal code, as well as felony conviction for human trafficking of a minor under the age of 18. These miracles. I would.
Well, we knew some coochie had to be involved with it now.
But under the age of 18,
right.
Victim 1 would likely receive cooperation credit based on this case in his unrelated pending drug case from the United States Attorney's Office from the Southern District of Ohio. This girl. Okay. All right. A little bit more, y'all. We're going to hang in there just a few more minutes. Supposedly legitimate business and charities used by the Big U Enterprise. Henley and Martin formed the independent record label Unique Music in 96. In 2004, Henley formed Developing Options, for which Henley is CEO and Martin is the CFO. Developing Options does business as many other entities, including the Crenshaw Rams youth football team, which is designed to give underprivileged children a safe outlet in sports with a chance to build skills for the future, including athletic scholarships. According to its website, Developing Options uses advocacy, education, resources, training, and development in sports to achieve its objectives. In the docuseries, Henley indicated that Developing Options was a platform he used to help individuals get to college instead of going to jail. Many other publicly available recordings online show Henley describing the structure of Developing Options, how it is funded, and what it claims to do for the community. Since approximately 2015, Developing Options has been the recipient of an annual $550,000 as part of the GRYD, the GRID program, overseen by the City of Los Angeles. From July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2023, Developing Options was allocated $2,352,000 from the City of LA. From that, Henley has drawn hundreds of thousands of dollars purportedly in salary. The GRID program has an extensive mandatory handbook that is appended to each contract and that Developing Options, like every other GRID contractor, must comply with. The detailed and extensive handbook has many requirements that include extensive criminal background checks, compliance, training, approval, and approval of employees, attendance at meetings, logging activity, liaising with local law enforcement, among other requirements. Based on my review of documents in the course of this investigation, Developing Options appears to have failed to comply with some or potentially all of those requirements. So GRID also receives federal grants and funding, for example, from October 2019 to September 30th, 2022. GRID received $371,590 from Project Safe Neighborhood. So he's fucked. Hang on a second.
And I don't understand why they're not. Oh, I mean, if it was just you and I trying to get a grant or a loan, you think they give us this money?
Hell
But they
no.
don't vet who they're giving their money to because it's a
No.
nonprofit organization. You just handing money out. So
Right.
I really do. I blame the governor and the mayors and stuff of
Yeah.
these cities and stuff. Y'all need to do y'all damn job. And California just kind of
They
relax
lose.
when it comes to laws. When it comes to laws and uh uh or either upholding the law or
Or
arresting people.
implementing the law.
Yeah, now they don't mind just beating somebody up randomly. That's okay. But the real criminals, y'all just let them go for years and do nothing about it.
They let them run wild, but
Right.
yeah, this
And it make me feel like, is he greasing their palms or is he greasing people? I mean, it appears that everybody is kind of corrupt and everybody got their hand in a cookie jar. And it kind of remind me of how New York used to be back in the day in the 70s and 80s when they had a lot of corruption going on.
mhm.
With the city and the state, and how everybody was just so corrupt and they had to try to clean everything up. It seemed like California needs a cleansing.
They do. They do. They really do. I think the governor, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't it, the sad part about it is there's no like in politics they don't allow there to be an in between. You have to
Right.
either be strictly conservative or strictly like
Democrat.
Democrat. It's like you can't be in the middle. Like I take I believe in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's like he kind of allows everything to go through.
And the kicker part of this, Vic, you're taking kids. So you're getting them straight out of high school, straight out of high school, straight out of college, and you already trying to take their chances away.
Mhm.
Because if they make it big, then they got to pay you a fee for going through your little organization.
Girl. This is crazy.
Yeah, corruption at its finest.
Henley further solicits donations to Developing Options from celebrities, companies, foundations, and other entities which the victim donors believe will further a charitable purpose, but often instead are embezzled into Henley's personal bank account. As discussed in further detail below, Henley, Robinson, Martin, and other Big U Enterprise co-conspirators utilize Developing Options as a platform to will conduct both violent crimes and financial crimes under the guise of gang intervention work. Henley also fraudulently applied for federal pandemic relief loans for his entities, including Developing Options, Unique Music, and other businesses. The loans and or advances he successfully obtained are discussed further below. Similarly, Henley and Martin helped one of their employees at Developing Options, i.e. Blanton, fraudulently apply for a mortgage by manipulating his income records. The Big U Enterprise is committed to financially enriching its members and associates by stealing or cheating its victims out of money or property. Okay, this is just a subtext. For example, when subpoenaed for information about following the guidelines, Developing Options provided no document certifying or signifying compliance with the GRID handbook or any of its contractual obligations. All right, we're going to do discuss the unaliving of that young man, and then we're going to end it. We're going to talk a little bit and end it. As set the racketeering activity of unaliving RW. As set forth below, there is probable cause to believe that Henley unalived victim RW on January 25th, 2021, and dragged his body into the desert in North Las Vegas. On that morning, North Las Vegas PD detectives discovered the body of RW lying in the desert near the Apex landfill. That's way out there. RW had been shot multiple times and his body had been dragged and left in a ditch not far from I-15. Hours before his unaliving, RW was at the studio of Witness 2 with Henley. NLVPD investigation revealed that RW was one of Henley's recording artists and was at the studio as a guest of Henley recording for Unique Music, the independent record label that Henley and Martin co-founded. According to a studio witness, Witness 1, who was employed as security for the recording studio, Henley was one of the last people seen with RW prior to RW's unaliving. Witness 1 also stated that Robinson drove Henley to Las Vegas from LA in a dark gray Lexus, and that Witness 1, in his security capacity, encountered Henley and Robinson when they arrived at the studio and had words with them because he did not know who they were. Witness 1's statement to NLVPD at the outset of the murder investigation have been corroborated by other witnesses and cell phone location data, among other evidence. Further investigation revealed motive, opportunity, obstruction, inculpatory statements, and more from Henley and other members and associates of the Big U enterprise. Okay. The unaliving connection to the Big U enterprise. On January 20th, 2021, 5 days before the unaliving and 3 days before Henley and Robinson drove from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, RW recorded a diss. This is funny. They recorded a diss, short for disrespect, song that NLVPD later obtained. In it, RW rapped about the person who had the money, that RW would be, quote, shot in the face for thinking shit funny, and referenced the 38 revolver with no trace. Based on my knowledge of this investigation and conversations with others, I believe that in this diss song, RW was dissing Henley, referring to Henley as, quote, bro that makes some money, end quote, and that RW may get, quote, shot in the face, quote, end quote, for thinking his lackadaisical use of the studio and general representation by Unique Music is, quote, funny. RW was shot days later in the face, apparently with a revolver, like a 38, that left no shell casings. It is unknown whether Henley heard these lyrics prior to the unaliving. The effectiveness of the Big U enterprise is premised on Henley's stature as the most feared man in Los Angeles, end quote. As such, ensuring that no one disrespects Henley and that any such perceived disrespect is met with reprehensible violence, it is a core tenet of the Big U enterprise, and even more so when that disrespect is displayed publicly, like in front of extortion victims. As Henley himself stated on an intercepted call in 2023, quote, can't no nigga beef with me, nigga, because if he do, I'ma kill him, period. I am going to murder him, end quote. As Robinson explained in a surreptitious recording, quote, when Henley got out, he said, I'm the toughest nigga, and here's my body of work to prove it. And you know, I'm the only nigga still killing these niggas today. You niggas retired. I didn't. They understand that, end quote. Because of the Big U enterprise's existence relies and thrives on fear and violence, perception is paramount. As Witness 2 explained, Henley, through Big U's enterprises entity, Unique Music, was using Witness 2's expensive, valuable studio to record the Big U enterprises artist RW for free, based on the fear and power dynamic imposed over Witness 2 by the Big U enterprise for years, and by taking a lackadaisical approach to the studio time the Big U enterprise had secured for free, RW was wasting that time. I believe that RW wasting that time, thereby disparaging Henley's name and the Big U Enterprises reputation and potentially flouting that disrespect with the lyrics of the diss song, led to a dispute between Henley and RW. The dispute was so serious that Henley and Robinson drove from Los Angeles to Las Vegas to confront RW, and that dispute then turned deadly. Through our investigation, no investigator, family member, witness, or any third party has ever identified any individuals that would have motive or opportunity to murder RW except Henley. As discussed herein, Henley's motive for murdering RW was in the interest of the Big U Enterprise. Let me pause right here. Let's see.
Well, number one, either the paralegal or the law clerk, whoever wrote this brief up for this lawyer before the lawyer wrote up his, because they write
Mm-hmm.
the rough draft of the brief. They
Right.
had to be black to give all of these definitions of this and giving the definitions out. And a lawyer must be white because they doing too much explaining in the brief or what have you. But
They gotta put it out there for the average because I'm assuming that they think that the average the jury members are gonna be white because they're gonna get a white jury.
It seemed like it because they're doing a lot of explaining of the words.
You white folks don't know about that. What that Negro talk is. That Negro talk mean disrespect.
And so just listening to this portion, like Sunshine says, this guy's ruthless. You can't even have an argument with him. You can't have a disagreement.
You can't
with
have a
him.
disagreement. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't agree to disagree. You can't, it's my way or you going underneath the dirt. And this is crazy to operate in this fashion and in this manner. And how are you going to continue to make money if you're taking everybody out allegedly?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's all right. Henley's cell phone location corroborates his involvement in RW's murder.
Good.
I have reviewed cell phone location information obtained via search warrants by NLVPD for 2 phones associated with Henley for the time before, during, and after the unaliving. According to Witness 1 and Witness 2 and one of RW's friends who was visiting him in Las Vegas the day he was unalived, as well as the analysis of Henley's phones, Henley and Robinson arrived in Vegas on January 23rd, 2021. The night before the death, Henley's phone location, data, and witnesses show that he arrived at an Airbnb on Round Rock Drive in Las Vegas, Nevada, an Airbnb RW was staying in prior to the homicide, herein known as the Airbnb. In the middle of the night, Henley, through Unique Music, was paying for the Airbnb. Surveillance footage from in front of the Airbnb showed a dark gray or silver sedan arriving at the Airbnb and leaving shortly after. The surveillance video also showed Henley at the Airbnb. On January 24th, 2021, the night of the death, at approximately 7:04 p.m., Henley arrived at the studio, according to witnesses. At approximately 8 or 9 p.m., RW arrived at the studio and recorded a song from approximately 11 p.m. until midnight. On January 25th, 2021, at approximately 12:37 a.m., Henley left the studio and the dark gray Lexus in which he and Robinson had driven to the studio was no longer at the studio. At approximately 12:58 a.m., Henley's phone stopped reporting location data of any kind, with the last data recorded within the vicinity of the studio. At approximately 1:13 a.m., surveillance footage at the Airbnb again revealed a dark gray or silver sedan arriving to the Airbnb. RW exited the passenger side of the vehicle and entered the Airbnb. A few minutes later, at approximately 1:20 a.m., RW exited the Airbnb with the suitcase, put the suitcase in the trunk, and got in the dark gray or silver sedan, which departed. The Airbnb, though, was rented for another day, and RW was not set to leave until a flight scheduled for the following day. Both of Henley's phones did not begin reporting location data again until approximately 2:15 a.m. Based on investigator test drives and research, the drive from the studio to the Airbnb would take roughly 17 minutes. After Henley's phone stopped reporting location data when they left the vicinity of the studio, the dark sedan arrived with RW at the Airbnb 15 minutes later, which is consistent with traffic patterns after midnight. The drive from the Airbnb to the location where RW's body was found and then to the location where Henley's phones began reporting again would take roughly 42 minutes. The time from when RW left the Airbnb to when Henley's phones began reporting again is 48 minutes. Approximate time for the drive, death, and moving of the body, particularly in the middle of the night without traffic. I want to read this real quick. In a 2021 Drink Champs interview, Henley discussed the difficulty of getting away with crimes in modern age because the phone, quote, they quote, the phone and its location tells all. Well, this dummy, this was after he did the Drink Champs interview after he supposedly killed this boy. One of Henley's phones made a call to Robinson, who Witness One reported was still at the studio, which is corroborated by Robinson's phone location data. According to Witness One, Robinson asked Witness One if he had seen Henley, which Witness One found odd since Robinson was Henley's driver and bodyguard. At approximately 2:30 a.m. or 3 a.m., Henley returned to the studio alone in the dark gray Lexus and spoke with Witness One, who reported that Henley appeared to be drenched in either sweat or water. Henley told Witness One that he was coming back from the gym. RW's body was found hours later at approximately 9 a.m. One of the detectives investigating the murder believed RW died at that location near the side of the road on I-15 after he observed the roadway contained a distinct patch of blood which trailed down the hill from the roadway into the desert along with the drag marks. Henley's phone location data shows that he departed Las Vegas to return to Los Angeles at approximately 10 a.m. So he left an hour after the boy's body was found. Evidence from the scene. Officers and medical professionals responded to the scene of RW's murder, and subsequent autopsy found that RW died from multiple pow-pow wounds. The responders noted that RW was not dressed for the weather, which was cold and inclement on the night of the unaliving. DNA was collected from RW's ankle and sock area, consistent with the direction that RW was dragged into the desert off the highway. The DNA profile obtained was not complete, likely due to the aforementioned inclement weather on the night of the unaliving. Analysis of Henley's DNA profile was inconclusive, such that he could not be excluded as the contributor of the DNA. Robinson, on the other hand, was excluded as the potential contributor of the DNA found on RW. Henley arranges for recording equipment from the studio to be removed and surveillance to be destroyed. Witness One told North Las Vegas PD detectives that DS, Henley's associate, removed video recording equipment from the studio a couple days after the unaliving, including destruction of surveillance video data that would have shown RW and Henley at the studio shortly before RW's murder. Witness 2 told the FBI that Henley ordered Witness 1 and Witness 2 to leave the premises, quote, take a walk, prior to the removal of the video recording equipment. Witness 1 explained that 3 relatively new surveillance and working DVR devices had been removed from the studio and all security cameras were disabled. Witness 1 stated that replacement DVRs were installed, but that they did not work. Witness 3, who had previously installed the DVR equipment at the recording studio, also spoke with the FBI. According to Witness 3, on January 31st, 2021, Witness 3 went to the studio to fix the video cameras that were not working at the studio after Witness 2 called Witness 3 to fix them. Witness 3 analyzed the equipment and concluded that the DVR system was unplugged or turned off. According to Witness 1, DS then sent him money to purchase new DVR equipment for the studio. So they were getting okay, let me just pause there for a second. They were getting free studio time, but then they come back and destroy all the studio equipment. This is crazy. I believe that there is probable cause to conclude that the footage from the DVR system would have shown an altercation between Henley and RW on the night of January 24, 2021. And at minimum, Henley and RW leaving the studio together shortly before RW's murder. Interviews of the family witnesses and Big U Enterprise Associates. On January 27, 2021, detectives spoke with RW's family, which was the first time his family learned that RW had died. On January 28, 2021, detectives again spoke with RW's family. Generally, his family confirmed that RW lived in California and worked as a musician. He was recently working with a music producer, Henley, who was also from California, and Henley had booked RW's Airbnb and travel. RW's family explained that RW was close with Henley and trusted him. Henley coached RW in football since RW was young. RW lived with Henley for a time while in high school. At some point, Henley believed RW had worn a chain that belonged to Henley's son to school without permission, and RW was kicked out of Henley's home. PM, RW's aunt, added that she had called Henley on January 27, 2021, after learning RW had been killed. Henley claimed he had not seen or heard from RW and did not know his whereabouts. PM, the deceased's aunt, confronted Henley about arranging the trip for RW to record in Las Vegas, and then Henley admitted he had done so. PM had overheard Henley speaking with someone named KF. Y'all try to keep track with these initials, whom investigators later interviewed about RW's travel arrangements. In a later interview during the pendency of this investigation, PM said that Henley would call her on a weekly basis prior to the murder, but after that call on January 27th, PM never heard again from Henley. North Las Vegas Police Department also learned that CA, another fucking initial, a friend of RW, spent the weekend in Las Vegas and visited RW at RW's Airbnb. According to CA, at about 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, January 24th, Henley came to the Airbnb and asked RW why did he not show up to the music studio the day prior, January 23rd. RW claimed he did not have a ride to the studio. CA, the victim's friend, reported that it was odd that Henley actually took the time to show up at the Airbnb in Las Vegas to confront RW. CA and his family left for California Sunday afternoon, January 24th, 2021 at about 2 p.m., and CA had not heard from RW since. Throughout the entire investigation, the family members and friends who have been interviewed have pointed to Henley as the person they believe to be responsible for RW's death. Within days, multiple people were sending Instagram messages to Henley demanding answers for what happened to RW, all of which went without a response. North Las Vegas PD searched RW's Instagram. RW's final Instagram message to Henley regarding the price of the song was sent on January 24th at 1:57 p.m. Henley did not respond until 2 days later at 8:14 a.m., almost 24 hours after Henley left Las Vegas following RW's murder. In the meantime, the evidence shows that Henley had seen RW at the studio the night of January 24th. After RW had sent that Instagram message, and Henley presumably would have discussed the price of a song at the time of it all, if at all, excuse me. Thus, it appears that Henley sent the message on January 26th. So they're claiming that Big U sent the Instagram message, like pretending he was a victim. in an attempt to plead ignorance that RW was murdered and to avoid suspicion from law enforcement of his involvement in the murder. On February 3rd, 2021, NLVPD conducted a recorded interview of KF, the person RW's aunt heard Henley talking to about RW's travel arrangements on January 27th, as discussed above. KF was the account manager for Unique Music and handled all travel needs and expenses for his artists. KF used KF's mother's Uber account to coordinate rides for RW while RW was in Las Vegas. KF confirmed he worked directly for Henley and had arranged for RW's flight to Las Vegas. RW was supposed to fly home Tuesday, January 26th, possibly in the morning, i.e., over 24 hours after RW was seen leaving the Airbnb with his suitcase in the gray or silver sedan and then found dead. Same person also arranged living accommodations for RW at the Airbnb for the week of January 19th, 2021 through January 26, 2021. Additionally, KF explained that part of his job was to arrange for transportation via Uber to and from the studio for RW, who left 2 controllers and a jacket at the Airbnb that the Airbnb owner had contacted KF about. KF used an Airbnb application on his phone to make the reservation, but the account actually belonged to a friend named HT. God, all these names. In reviewing the audio of this interview, it is clear that KF hesitated when answering several questions and appeared to be elusive about several answers. KF claimed he did not have a phone number for Henley and had no way to get in touch with him. KF eventually provided Henley's phone number, but still claimed he did not know how to get in touch with him and did not know when he would see him again. KF also claimed he did not know the address of the recording studio in Las Vegas, even though KF was the person tasked with making the transportation arrangements for RW to get to the studio. KF then stated that he merely provided Cash App transfers to RW and that RW could book the Uber rides, but before backtracking and stating that he did order Uber rides for him. Similarly, KF claimed that he did not know the name of the music studio or the engineer RW was scheduled to work with. KF advised that RW made music and was supposed to make 1 song per day in Las Vegas. KF said RW did not go to the studio on January 19th and was supposed to go every day after that, but probably did not go every day. On one day, RW did not go and he said he would do double up the following day. RW texted KF and said he was enjoying himself and was doing well. When KF called him, he did not answer. KF texted him, but at a certain point, the text message went green instead of blue. The last time KF received a text message from RW was at 11:58 p.m. on January 24th, less than 2 hours before his death. When the FBI attempted to interview KF, he told them he did not want to speak to them. Soon after the interview of KF, North Las Vegas PD located HT, whose account was used by KF to book the Airbnb. She explained that she did not authorize the use of her Airbnb and was upset about it. She explained that her godbrother, KF, used her Airbnb account to book a room in Las Vegas and then learned someone had been killed during that stay. HT explained that KF used her account to book the room but used his own credit card. HT received a notification regarding the booking and asked KF why he used her account to book a room. KF apologized. HT did not know RW and explained that she worked in the medical field. Since KF had used HT's Airbnb account to reserve the room, HT intercepted messages between the Airbnb host and KF, provided them to law enforcement. HT saw a message from KF asking if the Airbnb property had video surveillance prior to law enforcement speaking to KF and confronted KF about the messages because she did not want her account to be associated with any problems. KF told her about RW's murder, again, before speaking to law enforcement, and said he was trying to figure out what happened to RW. Okay. Let's see. I think this is a good stopping point. This is because this is a lot. We have read a lot today. If we're leaving off on page 43.
We're almost halfway done.
Girl, this is a lot.
But
I need a mouth break. I need to just so
yeah, I
if you
know
want
you
to
do.
talk for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because Sunshine had a question. She said, so RW was off because of wearing Big U's son's chain. I feel like he was, and he had a grudge against him,
I'll be
and
right back.
he used that studio crap about him wasting time in the studio. But in my opinion, he had been holding that grudge for a minute, right? And he was waiting to pounce on him. And he found the right opportunity to do that to that little boy. And what a shame. You had this little boy in your home, mentoring him as if you were his football coach, right? And trying to act like you're trying to guide him, and then you take him out because your son allowed him to wear a damn chain. And you 58 years old. I mean, and he was not 58 at that time because he's 58 now, but you were well in your 50s when all of this happened, right?
Okay, I'm back real quick. I just
And I'm like, you well in your 50s when all of this happened, and
Yeah.
can you grow the hell up?
Well, my tea is heating up. This is a lot. Like you could tell people around him are scared.
Yeah. And I wouldn't. Hold on one second, too, Vicky. I don't think I would be up there testifying either.
No, hell no. That's why they don't want to speak. Like this person who did this booking for the Airbnb. They're like hesitant. They don't want to speak to the FBI, and he's calling his god sister or whatever. Like she got video, trying to intercept the messages. There's a lot. So from what it seems like, hey Miss Red, thank you for joining. What he lived with Big U. He wore the son's chain. So, but now, like reading this a little bit more intensely, it seemed like something was going on between Big U and the guy. It's a because why would you be so weirded out by the son, like him wearing the son's chain, and then kick him out? And then
Right.
also the other one is what's the other he wasted studio time, but it was studio time he was getting for free. So okay, he didn't show up. So go talk to him and tell him, okay, I can't take you seriously as an artist if you don't get it together. But
And
like
he young.
right, I think this kid
You're
was
not
like
considering
19.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah, you're not considering anything.
I think this kid is 19, if I'm not mistaken, or he was 19. And then he's trying to cover it up, telling his family, "Oh, I haven't talked to him." It just, the family knows that you're out there. So let's see, how much more we got.
Well,
about
we
this
have
murder.
over 50 more pages because I think you stopped at 48 or
Oh, we're at 40. I
43.
stopped at 43. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
it's 107 pages, but some of those pages we've already
it's
skipped over, so you probably got about another 50 pages.
girl, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do part 2. So I know you're going on panel tomorrow. So
No.
Oh.
I'm not. It's next Sunday when I have to do it.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, we can come back. We can come back tomorrow and get this done if you. But
Okay.
tomorrow is Easter now. I don't know what everybody
It's
else.
up to you. I ain't doing that, girl.
I'm not doing nothing either. But I'm talking about your audience.
Audience, because a lot of us be right at home
doing nothing on
doing
holidays.
nothing.
But I
Yeah.
mean, you know what? We can do it, and
So
and then they can replay if they don't.
Yeah.
If they got something to do, then yeah, let's go ahead and finish it up.
Yeah, let's finish it up tomorrow, and then
Yeah.
so I'll text you like what time.
Okay.
In the morning.
And we can continue to do it on your channel since we started it on your channel. We can continue to do it on your channel.
The Sunshine says she's vested now. Yeah, girl, this is
Yeah.
Lady says I'm the whole witness, so I'm gonna be here. Yeah, so but this is I mean, this is deep. This is
Yeah.
really, really deep. I mean,
I told y'all it was a lot. You talk about what part got me. Yeah, all of it.
I mean,
what part don't get you?
I knew that there was like, the unaliving stuff, but this is like just this is so crazy. Like
Right.
just I
And
mean, this all the stuff he was in, like you said, he's irrational. He is
yeah.
absolutely irrational. If you want to respond to the comments real quick, I'm not gonna close out your shit. I'm gonna go grab
Okay.
my tea.
But yeah, he's very irrational. He's ignorant. He's stupid, and really he getting old. I think that too. I think that has something to do with it. And I don't know what's going on with the son. I mean, with this RW and Henley, but something is up. And I don't know if maybe he had him to do something and he didn't do it right. Maybe he because he have everybody doing everything right. So maybe he had him to maybe possibly try to tell him to take somebody else out and it didn't happen. But Sunshine, you're absolutely right. It's layers on top of layers of this case. And it's not like one thing that you're surprised about, and it has twists and turns to it, and you just can't really, you really can't put your finger on it, and really um I'm interested to see if that. I think they're gonna, based on these records here, I think he's gonna be indicted. I not indicted, but I think he's gonna. Um, Once they go to court, I think he's gonna be found guilty because they have all kind of evidence against him, and so, and people are not going to appreciate you taking kids out. See, that's what's gonna hurt you right there. And then they're going to put your cell phone, your evidence. They're going to put that in the vicinity of the same place where this little boy got unalived, And I figured it was somebody. I figured it was him that did it because most professionals, like they said, he was real close to the highway. That's somebody that's lazy, right? Because if you're going to do something and you really want to get away with it, why would you put him right there by the highway? Not too
Well,
far away from the highway. That's crazy.
he girl probably got mad and just like I mean, it sounded like he got
If it just throw
yeah.
that nigga anywhere.
It
That's what it
sounded
sounds
like
like to me.
he had the young man outside of the car and then like popped him up, wet him up, like and then just
Drug
drag
him.
him. Yeah,
Drug
just
him.
drug him. I mean, that's cold. Like somebody who you thought was like a father figure
Right.
and you were living with them to 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 just take you out like that.
And can you imagine the damn ride to the desert?
Girl, I'd be shitting bricks like because like you've heard his reputation, you know what kind of man
Right.
he is,
Right. And I would have
you
left all kind of DNA in his car. I would have shit, piss,
girl,
everything. I would have left all kind of stuff in his car.
I would have like PP'd and so I mean I want to point out some of these people. Let me drop down chocolate drops comment. Okay. So we know Big U is in the middle, guys.
Second
Big U
row,
is
third
second,
third one.
third one to the from the left. And we're looking at the names that we left off. Just gotta remember. Hang on. Hang on. Blanton is one of the guys. He's in custody. Frederick Blanton is one of the main guys. Who else did we discuss?
He in there snitching.
Probably.
In there telling the story. And I bet you, what was some of those? Was any of those initials the TJ, or I don't remember TJ or AA, because I would think that the women would tell it before the men.
I would think so too, because if they're mothers, yes. So we know Armani Afleje, she is no longer in custody. She is bonded out.
Mhm.
Sylvester Robinson is the one of his business partners. So these three men from okay. So let's look at it from on the second row from Big U. Those two men, those are like the three people who have been mainly mentioned in this. Those three, because you could tell by their age, they're older. You could look at their faces and see that they're older, so they all roll together. And these are the main three parties. So from Eugene Henley Jr., Mark Martin Anthony, Sylvester Robinson.
Mhm.
And Armani, we're gonna hear about her, like she helped supposedly help traffic women.
Mm.
So yeah, it's about to get deeper, y'all. So yeah, and
Right.
then Sunshine, I'm with you. I can't imagine his final moments. And from like I said, I'm understand. I think he's like he was 19 or 20. Yes, they are old heads, Sunshine. Doing the most out here.
Even that Blueface, Tyvon Devon Jones, he
Blue,
old.
which one? Let me see.
The one on the top row, fourth one.
Oh yeah, he could tell he's like about 47. Like yeah. But these three, Eugene, Mark Martin, Sylvester, yeah, you could tell they're a little bit older. They're like closer to 60 than anything. But yeah, we're gonna come back and finish this because I'm with y'all. I'm fully invested now. It's like I thought, well, maybe because you were just quiet, so I'm like, maybe they're not invested, maybe they're not interested. But
No,
this
we're
is
listening. We're listening.
okay.
And I
All
didn't
right,
want to interrupt you, so I'm like, wow. That's why I
yeah.
got my phone on me. That's why I had it on mute because I'm over here making all kind of sounds.
I do rest in peace to this young man.
Right.
He probably just came to Vegas, was partying, and they just didn't, all he had to do, all he needed was a good talking to, a stern talking to, not somebody to take him for the last ride of his life. And I know he's innocent until proven guilty, but all signs are pointing to him. And because he said it himself, the cell phone will get you. Like your cell phone magically turn on after they can configure the time of death. So
Mhm.
get out of here, man. So
And when they said that, I say, how stupid. What y'all so cheap and stupid. You can't even get burner phones. Like
yeah,
you should
no,
have had somebody
right.
to buy you some burner phones, Dodo, and nobody wouldn't even been able to place you at the scene of the crime. But I'm gonna digress on that too. Even when you got ready to go to Vegas, if they wasn't watching you, you should have got a burner phone and left your main phone at home.
Right. I mean, I don't that you see a lot of these rich people, these rich folks,
Right,
they
right,
have old flip phones. They go get a
right.
jitterbug. No internet, no nothing. They just it's a straight jitterbug and that's how they roll. So anyway, so we're gonna finish it up. We may come in on a little bit earlier tomorrow. When I said I'm gonna coordinate outside of this. Well, so we do thank all those who stuck in with us. It's been 2 hours and 40 something minutes. So I appreciate you guys for coming through and listening to us talk about this. And I'll drop the link tomorrow, once we finish the full, because some of this is just fluff. Like some of this is like a lot of this is like reading the penal code and stuff. I'm not gonna read all that. I'll skim through it, but we're gonna get into the real meat and potatoes tomorrow. A little bit well, we're gonna continue to get into the meat and potatoes, and we'll finish up on RW's death, and we're gonna get into more of the indictment tomorrow. So I appreciate everybody coming by. Do you have any final thoughts? I said what I said, what you heard today.
No, child, this is a lot. It's a lot.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and when I originally read the documents, I was really scanning through them. I wasn't
Yeah,
really
me too.
rereading
Me
them,
too.
and I just kind of scanned through them, and then I was really focused on trying to do a brief summary of everything that happened, so that we could kind of follow along or what have you.
Mhm.
But this is a lot.
It
This
really
is a
is.
lot.
It
This
really
is a
is.
lot, and it's a lot for your brain to even intake. And it's to me, it's just I don't know, guys. I'm ashamed. I really am for all of these old ass people to be taking advantage of these stars, of these young people that's trying to start their careers.
Yeah.
They're trying to play ball. They're trying to be rappers. They're trying to get into the entertainment business, and they're just taking full advantage of them.
And what's up with Adrian Broner? I'm gonna say it's Adrian Broner. I know it's allegedly, but I'm gonna say allegedly. What's up with Adrian Broner using fake dice out there playing dice and trying to trying to fake out?
Don't want to be here. Don't be
You
playing
say
with nobody. Yeah, don't care about life. Don't value life and do not want to be. Don't even care about being here.
girl,
Is
I
what I
knew
see in that.
I knew Adrian Broner was a cuckoo bird, but you want to go out there and you want to go to your not your hood. You want to go to a place that is not your hood,
Right.
and you want to use some loaded, some fake, some special dice,
But
and
because he's affiliated with this organization, he probably think, hey, I can do what I want to do. When you around stuff like this, everybody in this organization probably feel like they're untouchable.
girl, Adrian,
They
but
feel
Adrian, but
untouchable. Huh?
Adrian gonna mess around and find out. He's already crazy, but like, listen,
Mhm.
Adrian gonna mess around and find out, girl.
Henley gonna
Messing
mess
with this.
around and find out.
Oh, Henley is about. I mean, he might as well just go back and get comfortable. Just I don't think they're gonna give him a bond on anything because he's too dangerous to have out in society.
He
They've
is.
already the two people to the left of Big U. They have created bond packages and presented them to the judge. The judge is denying them. Zahir Mitchell, Brick Baby is too much of a wild card. He's like I told y'all before. Brick Baby has held his baby mama up at gunpoint while she was holding the baby.
Mm.
He's a wild guy, and Loose Cannon. I think he's special needs, but he's still in the gang, so it's a lot. But
Crazy.
all right, y'all. Good night. I want to thank everybody for coming by, and for the replay listeners, thank you. I said what I said. I'll be hitting you up tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, that'll work.
All right. Good night, y'all.
You say what time tomorrow?
I don't know.
She didn't say. So maybe
Um,
four-ish or
like
five-ish.
four-ish. I guess East Coast. Well, four-ish Central Time.
So
So
what
like
time would that
that'd
be
be
like 2 for you?
2 for me. Yes.
Okay.
I'll create the live tomorrow. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for
Right.
joining us.
Thank you. Bye bye.